Chapter 902. Everyone stepped forward. The tall palace door was tightly shut. The bloody tree looked at Wang Jinyang and said, "Honorable guest, you can step forward and push it. Since the master left something for you, you can definitely open this door." Fang Ping ignored it and walked forward to push it. The door did not budge. Fang Ping thought about it and increased his strength. With a low grunt, he pushed it again. It still did not budge. Seeing this, Fang Ping wanted to try changing his aura. At this time, Wang Jinyang took a step forward, shook his head slightly, and stretched out his hand to push the door. The door that did not budge previously trembled slightly when he stretched out his hand. Then there was a roar. The door opened. The bloody tree, who had also landed on the ground, had shrunk. The old face appeared again, glancing at Wang Jinyang strangely. The imperial palace opened. At the moment when the imperial palace opened, inner area of the bounded domain, Gong Yuzi suddenly looked in the direction of the imperial tomb. "Heavenly Emperor Zhan is really here," Gong Yuzi murmured. The heavenly battle palace was opened. Was there really a reincarnation of Heavenly Emperor Zhan among the group of people earlier? At this moment, Gong Yuzi suddenly frowned and looked in the direction of Imperial Sea Mountain. His figure moved. In the next moment, Gong Yuzi appeared at the end of the Imperial Palace. In front of him, he could already see Imperial Sea Mountain. In Imperial Sea Mountain, War King restrained his aura and was currently drilling a hole. Gong Yuzi frowned. There was a hole between Purple Cap Mountain and Imperial Sea Mountain. Warlord had discovered this before. He had even told Fang Ping and the others about it. The last time War King drilled a hole, he almost drilled into the Imperial tomb. This hole was somewhat related to the Devil's Swordsman. Gong Yuzi seemed to have seen through the other side and saw War King drilling a hole with his, but in the air. In front of him, the boundary wall trembled slightly and quickly became transparent. "Junior, is it inappropriate for a true god to drill a hole?" "None of your business." War King also transmitted his voice. Although he and Gong Yuzi had not interacted much, they were not strangers. As War King drilled a hole, he transmitted his voice. "I'm going to check on my 2 kids. Don't cause trouble for me. I'm warning you, it's fine if you piss me off. But if you piss those guys off, just wait for your death. What's the use of being an emperor? Now that unquestionable Jian is here. You have to be careful. Don't go for wool and come home shorn and get killed in the end." "You recovered your memory?" Gong Yuzi was a little surprised. "No." The War King continued to drill into the mountain wall as he cursed, "But I have some impression of it. I can't be bothered to find out what happened to my memory. There must be a reason why you guys threw us out after making us lose our memories. If he wasn't wrong, it might be related to some people's identities. You're pretending to be confused, and we might know it too. However, you probably made us lose our memories because you didn't want us to say it in advance and ruin your plan. You old fart, you actually erased my memory. Otherwise, this daddy might have become a martial emperor already. Would I have cultivated for nothing for several hundred years? You bunch of old farts, just you wait to regret it. Junior brother, if you scold us, aren't you scolding yourself?" Gong Yuzi replied calmly, "I'm happy to. Old bastard. Make a hole, but this hole is blocked. Mother asterisk cur, won't you let me in? Purple Cap Mountain might even belong to me. Now that you've occupied my nest, you still won't come in. What's the meaning of this? Junior brother, it's been so many years since we last met, but you're still so disrespectful. Forget it." Warlord threw a punch, causing Mount Imperial Sea to tremble slightly, creating a hole. As he walked, he said, "Respect? I lost my memory. How would I know who you are? Just because you say you're my senior brother, you are? I even said you're my son. Are you?" "Insolence." Gong Yuzi was a little angry. Jiang Tianming was becoming more and more insolent. Stop talking nonsense. Let me in quickly. I think it's a little strange. You guys seem to want to plot against Fang Ping and the others. I'm warning you, I'm not standing up for them. But if you plot against them, something big will happen sooner or later. You should have recovered your strength now and have Emperor rank strength, but I think this Emperor rank is just SOSO. These few brats have a lot of people investing in them. Zhang Tao, Li Shun, Cat, they're all investing in them. You want to get involved now? Just wait for your deaths. Those few brats are incomparably savage. I'm not bragging they can beat you to death. Do you believe me? The Emperor's tomb cannot be entered. Gong Yuzi saw that he was still moving forward. Mount Imperial C's passageway led directly to the Emperor's tomb. Seeing that, he bellowed, Q-Sword has set up a fatal array there. All these years, no true god or venerable emperor has dared to enter. Do you really think it's because they're afraid of me? You trespass. You'll definitely die. Stop talking nonsense. Where did unquestionable Jian go? Let him come out. If he comes out now, let's talk. Maybe we can work together. If he doesn't come out now and wants to be the mastermind behind the scenes, let me tell you, this kind of person will not have a good ending. Based on my many years of experience, this kind of guy who wants to be the mastermind behind the scenes will all die a terrible death in the end. I've read unquestionable Jian's fortune. If he comes out now, he still has a chance to take revenge and achieve his goal. If he doesn't come out now, when he comes out in the end, he'll either be killed by Zhang Tao or Fang Ping. Believe it or not. You, Gong Yuzi was a little speechless. Your memory has already been erased, and you still want to read fortunes. His still want to read fortunes proved a lot of things. Obviously, even if his memory had not been erased, Warlord still had this hobby. Warlord said, casually, this isn't fortune-telling. I'm making inferences based on some clues. This is a very scientific calculation method. I've analyzed Fang Ping, Zhang Tao, and many other people's personalities. I've made a statistical analysis of their words and actions, personalities, and habits. After that, I've calculated the outcome of going against them based on their past behavior. After all the calculations, unless unquestionable Jian has become an emperor, otherwise he can only wait for death. Jiang Tianming, back then, you and Q-Sword were close friends. Why are you helping an outsider now? Close friends? Warlord was surprised. Is that so? Q-Sword was the closest to you back then. If not, how could you have befriended Emperor Sky? Now, your memory has been erased, but you're still alive. You didn't die in the war back then. Do you think it's because you're strong? If Q-Sword hadn't secretly helped you back then, you would have died in the battle between Tianji and Tianming. Warlord punched again, creating a crack. He laughed. Is that so? I really don't know. If that's the case, I have to save him even more. Let unquestionable Jian come out and talk to me. I'm saving him. Gong Yuzi, or you tell me unquestionable Jian's purpose. Q-Sword doesn't have any ill intentions. Do you think I'll believe that? Warlord said disdainfully, an old antique is an old antique. His IQ has dropped. Making an emperor's tomb. It's obvious that he has ill intentions. Otherwise, why would he make this thing out of boredom? Cut the crap. If you're not going to tell me, then I'll barge in. I'll slaughter those trees inside. I saw a little last time. The fruits they bear are all good stuff. My two boys ate them, and they reached rank. Ate very quickly. Oh, right, that demon tree. The one that plays with swords, is it yours? Warlord did not wait for him to reply, saying quickly, don't deny it. The last time I came here, I seemed to have sensed that tree's aura. It seemed to lead directly to you and entered Purple Cap Mountain. This means that that tree is connected to you. Gong Yuzi said nothing. Warlord said again, playing dead. I say, old man, logically speaking, the two of us should be on the same side. There are some things that you can't tell others, but you can still tell me. I advise you to stop now, or else there will be big trouble. I don't have any ill intentions. Is that so? Let me ask you again. Back then, that tree of Zhang Tao's, who threw it to him? Just an accident. Accident. Warlord sneered. As he bombarded the cave, he sighed, saying, either way, you guys will get into trouble sooner or later. Zhang Tao is not a kind person. Speaking of Fang Ping, he's still young. If you talk about trouble now, it'll be trouble in the future. Zhang Tao is really trouble now. You should know Zhang Tao. Actually, he's been to the North Lake catacombs a few times. He's also stayed at Imperial Sea Mountain a few times. You might have noticed him from afar. The tree that you guys gave me, if there's no problem, then forget it. At least you owe him a favor. There's a problem, big trouble. Before I came this time, he seemed to have guessed something. He knew that I would meet you, so he made it sound more mysterious than me. There's nothing more than a problem with that tree, but he solved it long ago. You guys want to rely on this to control him? Dream on. I wouldn't believe it if someone else said it, but he said it. I don't think it's a big problem. It's probably really solved. Don't think too much about it now. Gong Yuzi sighed softly. There's no problem. It's just some spiritual consciousness guidance. You lost your memory, so you don't know these. It's just a common tactic used by the various sects back then. It's just using spiritual consciousness to guide him to be more friendly toward Purple Cap Mountain. This is also a common tactic used by the various sects on their disciples. At Emperor level, naturally, it won't affect him at all. He should know about this too. It's not malicious. You admit it? You did it. Warlord laughed. Weren't you stubborn and unwilling to admit it just now? Guidance? I think it's more like mentality hypnosis, right? You guys are acting like a cult. What's the point? If you want to do him a favor, then do it properly. Speaking of which, why did you think of doing him a favor? He was only rank 4 back then. He's not that outstanding, is he? It's just a coincidence. Warlord suddenly said, is he unquestionable Jian? Why do you think so? Warlord laughed. You invested in him. He was born in North Lake and was destined to come to the North Lake catacombs. I think there's still a chance that he's unquestionable Jian. Maybe he doesn't even know it himself. Maybe he decided to reincarnate back then and sealed himself. That's why he became the current Zhang Tao. I think it's very reasonable. Having said that, Warlord added, I've always thought that this kid is too much of a monster. He didn't have many fortuitous encounters, so how can he be so strong? If he's unquestionable Jian, then the problem is solved. He's actually also recovering his strength. Whatever you think. Warlord chuckled. Don't say. Now that you put it that way, I think he's not. You're deliberately making it sound so vague. Do you want me to confirm that he's unquestionable Jian? Don't be silly. Do you think I'm so easy to fool? Actually, I've guessed a little. I might know who unquestionable Jian is, but forget it. Some things are hard to say. Things without evidence are troublesome. All right, enough nonsense. Open an opening and let me in. Otherwise, I'll directly shatter Purple Cap Mountain later. Don't blame me for not warning you in advance. You're not Emperor rank. If you barge in rashly, you'll die for sure. Is that so? Do you really think that I'm made of clay? I'm not far from Emperor rank and have battled for several hundred years. Don't talk about inanimate objects. If you come out now, let's fight one-on-one. Do you believe that I won't beat you up alive? Warlord had a provocative look and punched out again. Right at this time, Warlord already saw a stretch of blood red ahead. Emperor Tomb. But ahead, there were also a large number of black cracks, as well as streaks of transparent seals. It was as if he saw through the cracks and seals and saw that Emperor Palace. Sweeping a glance, Warlord suddenly sighed and said, "They went in. There's a bit of a problem with this palace. It'll probably be a little troublesome after going in. Gongyu, it's best that they're fine. If something happens, you guys will be in big trouble." Jiang Tianming, some things are more complicated than you imagine. Forget it, I don't want to hear these. If something happens to my 2 boys, I'll find trouble with you. It's that simple. Don't think that you're great just because you have a turtle shell. As he spoke, Warlord suddenly raised his fist and punched upwards. Rumble! The entire Purple Cap Mountain seemed to be trembling. Waves of incomparably powerful psyche power counterattacked Warlord. All around, spatial cracks appeared frequently. Warlord allowed the cracks to cut him. Streaks of bloody marks appeared on his body. The psyche power counterattack also erupted in waves of tides in the void. But Warlord still did not stop, bombarding over 100 punches in a row. Suddenly, a light cracking sound came from above. Only then did Warlord stop. His face was slightly pale as he sneered and said, "So that's all a turtle shell can do. I'm just too lazy to tear down Purple Cap Mountain. Perhaps it's still my home. Do you really think that relying on this can protect you?" Inside the bounded domain, Gongyu sighed softly and said, "Why bother?" "Awesome. You're not convinced?" Warlord sneered, then turned around and retreated, not advancing any further. Gongyu sighed again and said, "It's meaningless even if you break the seal. Your spiritual consciousness is not light. There's no need to forcefully pretend. Go back and recuperate." "I'm injured? I forcefully pretend." Warlord suddenly became furious. He turned around and punched dozens of times in a row. Crack! At this time, the entire Purple Cap Mountain trembled continuously. The transparent seal also cracked continuously. Warlord scolded and snorted coldly. "If you dare to spout any more nonsense, I'll kill you, you old fart." After saying that, Warlord quickly retreated. Only after he left did Gongyu shake his head slightly. Jiang Tianming would not be able to recover without recuperating for several months after leaving this time. But he has indeed become stronger. Gongyu was a little emotional. He had walked further on the Tao. He was not so strong when he left back then. Now he was much stronger. It seemed that junior brother had improved a lot over the years. He's not too far from the Emperor realm. According to the current calculations, the Warlord had walked at least 8,000 meters on the Tao. Although he only had 1 Tao, it was an extremely strong one. If they really fought, the Maple King might not be his match. Even so, there was still some distance from the Emperor realm. Warlord, who was far away, was naturally not in the mood to care about what he said. After exiting the passageway, he found an empty place and went into seclusion without another word. He had been impulsive. The hundreds of punches he had thrown just now had almost destroyed his mind power. The Purple Cap Mountain seal was stronger than he had imagined. However, even if he was injured, he had to show others that he, Warlord, was not to be trifled with. That old thing Gongyu dared to mock him. He would spare his life this time, but next time he would break his tortoise shell. Before the Battle King left Purple Cap Mountain, he seemed to have seen something strange on the tributary of the Taboo Sea. However, it disappeared in a flash. Even a powerhouse like him could not see it clearly. When he looked again, it was already gone. Warlord glanced at it and did not care much. The Forbidden Sea was very mysterious. He could not be bothered with the Forbidden Sea's matters. Not long after Warlord left, on the Forbidden Sea tributary, Jiao's figure slowly floated up from the water. The cat protected its little table and continued eating. It said strangely, "Little Fatty is injured." Fang Yuan looked at it in confusion. Which little fatty? Seeing her curiosity, the cat explained. It's your predecessor. He also brushed my fur. Fang Yuan's face darkened. Brushing, there was an inheritance. The cat ignored her and looked at the bounded domain. There were many monsters in the sea, but there was not a single one here. The cat was happy to be idle and could not be bothered. After looking at the bounded domain for a while, the cat looked at the emperor's tomb inside the bounded domain. Its face was extremely serious. Just as Fang Yuan was about to ask, the cat frowned and said, "Little fatty face, scratch me. I'm not feeling well. I need to think about something." Fang Yuan almost vomited blood. "You're so serious just to let me scratch you? You're just a cat. Why are you pretending to be so serious?" "You don't say." The cat's face looked quite cute when it was tense, if you ignored the cat's strength. Although Fang Yuan was speechless, she quite liked to scratch cats. She went forward and scratched the cat. The cat looked like it was enjoying itself and continued eating. It said lazily, "The heaven-punishing sword is coming out. We can go back after taking it. But it seems that little sword used the heaven-punishing sword to press on something. It dirted my sword. How annoying." The cat muttered for a while and looked at the emperor's tomb with half-opened eyes. After looking for a while, it seemed to be thinking about something. Suddenly, it looked at the bounded domain. As if it had seen Gong Yuzi, the cat suddenly raised its paw and gave him a big middle finger. Little Sword's master was so annoying. Every time it saw him, it wanted to scratch him. He was very scheming and always wanted to take advantage of others. The cat despised it for a while. Gong Yuzi was very annoyed. He had stuffed Little Sword here, then Little Fatty. After that, he still wanted to stuff someone else. He would not let him have his way. Fang Yuan was dumbfounded by its action. This cat, where did it learn this? Needless to say, it looked very good. Its middle paw was very obvious. Inside the bounded domain, a cat's paw that was raised high seemed to appear within the domain of the domain. Gong Yuzi seemed to see it, but he did not. He looked at the forbidden sea outside and frowned slightly. Who was it this time? At the same time, inside the emperor's tomb, combat heavenly palace. As soon as everyone entered, Lao Wang vomited a mouthful of blood. His breathing quickened as he gritted his teeth and said, "Heart, heart, heart is beating so fast. My heart is about to burst." "How dare you?" Fang Ping growled. A Changdao appeared and slashed directly at Diyu. Old Man Li also slashed with his sword. Tian Mu's iron fist had already blocked the way. Without another word, the three of them attacked Diyu directly. Diyu's mentality fluctuated violently. "It's a misunderstanding. Honorable guests, you've misunderstood." The three of them did not say a word. They had made up their minds to take it down first. The moment they entered, the gates of combat heavenly palace suddenly closed automatically. Fang Ping was worried that it was a trap. Even if there was no such thing, he would not let a rank 9 powerhouse like Diyu follow them. It was better to be prepared. One must always be on guard against others. If it was really a misunderstanding later, they would deal with it later. Right now, with such a powerhouse by their side, Fang Ping and the others still had to guard against it turning on them at any time. The three of them were extremely powerful when they joined forces. Diyu did not seem to dare to move recklessly. Its branches swept around, as if it dared not destroy those buildings. It was somewhat restrained. In this way, the three of them were not weaker than it. In an instant, a few branches were directly smashed into pieces. Diyu's old face appeared on the tree trunk, a little angry. "Honorable guests, what do you mean? This little demon will treat you with sincerity. Surrender first." Why did something happen to old Wang? How dare you plot against us? You're asking for death. Fang Ping growled. Once again, his Changdao swept horizontally. The void exploded. This sweep of the saber cut off the other party's thick branches directly. Yu was completely enraged. He no longer had any reservations. As if he had grown countless palms, they all attacked Fang Ping. Old Man Li took the opportunity to slash with his sword, cutting off a few of the other party's branches. Tian Mu's iron fist directly hit the other party's trunk. On the side, Li Hansong's armor appeared, protecting Old Wang and the others. When Fang Ping and the others attacked, he knew that these fellows were prepared to take down the other party first. Counting on these fellows to abide by the rules was really overestimating them. Yu followed them in. As soon as the gates closed, these fellows were not prepared to abide by the rules. Seeing that the three of them had an absolute advantage, Li Hansong heaved a sigh of relief. He looked at Old Wang and asked in a low voice, "Are you all right?" Heart. Old Wang was still panting. He looked into the depths of the palace, panting. I think I know what it is. Heart. Heart. My heart. Unquestionable sword. It has my past life's heart. As soon as he said that, even Fang Ping and the others who were fighting had their expressions changed. Heart. Old Wang's heart was here. No, the past life's Old Wang's heart was here. What was going on? Where did unquestionable sword get it from? You heard this too. It also understood human language. Fang Ping and the others were not surprised. Since unquestionable sword was their master, it was not strange that it knew this. At this time, Yu could not help but look at Old Wang. Heart. This person's heart was in the imperial palace. If that was the case, countless thoughts flashed across Yu's mind. He hurriedly transmitted his voice. "Everyone, please stop for now. This little demon has no ill intentions." Fang Ping and the others did not care about that. As Fang Ping attacked, he shouted, "Surrender and we won't kill you. If you really have no ill intentions, I will apologize and compensate for your losses after this. Otherwise, killing you will be in vain." Surrender. Tian Mu and Old Man Li roared too. They would not allow a level 6 or 7 origin powerhouse to stay around. It was too easy for something to happen. Seeing that the three of them had no intention of stopping, Yu felt helpless. After a while, his mentality sighed. Forget it. This little demon will not resist anymore. Honorable guests, this is really... It did not know what to say. Fang Ping and the others did not care about it. Seeing that it had stopped, the three of them quickly went forward, grabbed the branches, and restrained its movements. A crystal hoop appeared in Fang Ping's hand. Without another word, he enlarged the hoop and put it on the bloody tree. Yu saw the crystal hoop and was at a loss at first. When the crystal hoop was wrapped around it, it said in surprise, "Quichang Mountain's beast-taming hoop?" Fang Ping did not explain. After sensing for a while, he said, "It's very difficult for a rank 8 divine weapon to restrain you, but if you want to break free, you'll need some time. When that time comes, don't blame us for killing you directly. This little demon has no ill intentions." Fang Ping could not be bothered to listen. He looked around. They were now in a courtyard behind the palace's main gate. The main hall was in front of the courtyard, and there were a few side halls. Then Fang Ping looked at Old Wang and asked, "Where's the heart?" "In the depths? That's the master's bedroom," Yu explained. Fang Ping, on the other hand, helped Old Wang up and quickly walked toward the depths. Old Wang's matter should be settled first. This time, he might be able to find out more about Old Wang's past. This fellow's heart had actually been taken by someone else. Could it be that his previous life's heart was still alive? Otherwise, it would not have affected him so much. Chapter 903. Fang Ping supported Old Wang and walked forward. The palace looked strange, but in reality, it was like a small courtyard, very simple. There seemed to be tree pits on both sides of the road. Fong Ping glanced at them and looked at the imprisoned Diyu. Diyu said telepathically, "That's right. We took root here back then." These demon trees had taken root here back then. Fong Ping thought for a while and asked, "Did you guys take root in the ancient times, or did unquestionable Jian plant you later?" "I don't know." Diyu explained, "We gained sentience 1,000 years ago. Before that, these little demons were just ordinary trees. It was hard to say who planted them. Unquestionable Jian would not explain this either." Fong Ping did not ask any more. He did not care about the surrounding houses and side halls, heading straight for the main hall. The main hall was not the place old Wang sensed, but unquestionable Jian's resting chamber was behind the main hall. Creak. A creaking sound was heard. The main hall, which had not been opened for many years, slowly opened its doors under old Wang's push. It was completely different from the glory he remembered. In the main hall, a few simple stone chairs were placed in a somewhat messy manner. The master's seat above was the same as the other chairs, made of stone. Fong Ping touched it, but could not tell what kind of stone it was. He could imagine the master of this place inviting a few friends to chat about martial arts in the main hall. Looking at the style, the master's personality was more leisurely, not the kind of domineering person. Combat Heavenly Palace did not live up to its name. Does the main hall have a name? No, Diyu thought for a while, and added, "Master once said that the master of Combat Heavenly Palace was extremely powerful in ancient times, but he was also extremely low-key. Within the 3 realms, not many people know about the master of Combat Heavenly Palace. He only discovered it by chance in the heavenly realm. Only then did he know that there were powerhouses like Heavenly Emperor Zhan in ancient times." Heavenly Emperor Zhan? Fong Ping looked at old Wang doubtfully. Did this place belong to old Wang? It could not be, right? If it was, why would his heart be in his home? However, old Wang had just pushed open Combat Heavenly Palace. It might not be arranged by the Demon Emperor, right? Fong Ping felt it was a pity that the cat was not here. If the cat was here, it might know something. Although the cat was unreliable, sometimes a few words from it could give people some inspiration. "What did unquestionable leave for us?" "I don't know, but since you sensed it, it should be something left behind by my master." Fong Ping did not say anything else. After some thought, he tried to move a chair, but he could not. He frowned. Diyu helplessly said, "The items here have been used by unparalleled powerhouses for many years and have already undergone changes. Master once said that these items were only ordinary stones in the past, but after being used by Heaven Emperor Zhan for many years, they have already been soaked with Emperor Might and are comparable to high-grade divine mights. Under normal circumstances, it cannot be moved. It has fused with the entire Combat Heavenly Palace." Fong Ping rubbed his chin and smiled. "This belongs to old Wang. We'll return it to its rightful owner and take it away with us." Wang Jinyang smiled and did not reply. Fong Ping did not care about this anymore. There was a passageway leading from the basilica to the residence. Fong Ping supported old Wang as they walked to the back. Just as they were about to go to the bedchamber, outside the Combat Heavenly Palace, a group of people bathed in blood and killed all the blood demons. At this moment, outside Combat Heavenly Palace, all 18 Emperor blood trees had arrived and joined forces to block the entrance. On the Emperor blood tree's side, at the forefront, an extremely tall blood tree said with mentality, "Jian Yi, how dare you come back?" In the crowd, Monster Swordsman's sword Chi soared into the sky, replying with mentality, "Why not? Emperor Blood, attack Combat Heavenly Palace." "Combat Heavenly Palace belongs to my master, Emperor Blood, Are you still going to pretend? A middle-aged man's face appeared on Monster Swordsman's body, his expression cold. Fang Ping and the others went in. Your Emperor Blood Tree clan wants to release those great emperors. You deserve to die. Everyone, kill the Emperor Blood Tree clan and enter combat Heavenly Palace. Before the seal is broken, kill those great emperors' wills. Don't let these resentful great emperors resurrect. Monster Swordsman shouted with mentality, looking like he wanted to kill immediately. On the Emperor Blood Tree clan's side, the tall Emperor Blood said angrily, Jian Yi, after all these years, you're still trying to deceive people. Those great emperors are long dead, and only their remnant consciousness remains. Outsiders are not allowed to enter Master's palace. Do you really think I don't know your purpose for luring these people into the palace? Ridiculous. The two monster plants spoke one after another. In the crowd, Qi Huanyu was a little impatient. His spear appeared and stabbed into the ground with a bang. The entire tomb seemed to tremble slightly. Shut up. Qi Huanyu's expression was cold as he shouted, Get out of the way. I want to enter the palace. Zhao Xingwu carried a long saber on his back and said coldly, I don't care about your grudges. It has nothing to do with us, who the traitor is. Get out of the way and open the palace, or all of you will die today. They did not care at all who the traitor was. What did it have to do with them? Everyone's goal was the palace. So many people had come this time, and many people had died. Outside, many people had died in the spatial rifts. Inside, the blood demons had killed many people. When they came in, there were more than 100 humans and demons, but now there were only about 40 left. If Qi Huanyu and the others were not powerful enough to kill so many blood demons, more people might have died. However, there were 18 monster plants in front of them, and 8 of them were rank 9. It was not a weak force. The reason why they did not attack directly was that they were worried that more people would die, and it would not be worth it. They were arguing. Behind the crowd, Wang Ruobing transmitted her voice. Senior sister, this is the combat Heavenly Palace. Wang Hanue was a little surprised and asked, Junior sister, do you know it? She did not know about the combat Heavenly Palace. Wang Ruobing thought about it and said, I think I've heard of it. In the past, apart from the sovereigns, there were some special powerhouses in the heaven realm who lived in seclusion. Other than the sovereign's disciples, these people also dominated the heaven realm and established dojos. Combat Heavenly Palace. Battle Heavenly Emperor. I think I've heard someone mention it once. Father also said that Battle Heavenly Emperor was one of the top powerhouses among the sovereigns. However, it was too long ago, and I don't remember if he was talking about Battle Heavenly Emperor. Wang Ruobing thought about it and said, Father might have asked me to come this time for the treasures in the combat Heavenly Palace. Battle Heavenly Emperor is extremely powerful. He might have a treasure that can cure me. Wang Hanue had never heard of Battle Heavenly Emperor. She could not help but say, the combat Heavenly Palace seems to have been occupied by the Demon Emperor. Is there really something left? Even if a powerhouse like the Demon Emperor occupied Battle Heavenly Emperor's residence, he would not change it carelessly. Some of the treasures might not be of interest to the Demon Emperor. Wang Ruobing was indifferent. A powerhouse like the Demon Emperor would probably not be interested in ordinary treasures. Even if it was something good, it would still be placed where it should be. This was the pride of a powerhouse. Even if he took away the combat Heavenly Palace, he would not destroy it. Wang Hanue nodded and said quickly, Then we must enter. Fang Ping and the others have already entered. Once they take away the things, it will be difficult to get them back. In front, Qi Huanyu and the others were already extremely dissatisfied. The two powerhouses attacked again at this time, directly barging into the Emperor Bloodtree's camp and fighting. Wang Hanyue watched for a while, then looked at the devil swordsman and frowned slightly. This sword tree did not attack at this time. She did not know what it was thinking. It did not attack, but Wu Chuan did not make a sound and attacked with his sword. Fang Ping and the others had already entered. Who knew what the situation was now? Fang Ping and the others did not notice the fierce battle outside. After entering Combat Heavenly Palace, everything outside seemed to be heard and sensed. Behind the main hall was a quiet little courtyard. In the courtyard, some flowers and plants were planted. This time, Fang Ping did not pay attention to the flowers and plants. Instead, he looked at the archery target in the courtyard immediately. Yes, the archery target. It seemed to be casually made by the owner. It was very crude and was casually hung on the wall of the backyard. On the archery target, there seemed to be some traces of arrows being shot. Back then, perhaps the owner was bored and randomly made an archery target to test his arrows. Diyu saw him looking at the archery target and said telepathically, "The owner said that Battle Heavenly Emperor's combat techniques have reached the peak, and his archery is unparalleled. At his peak, he might be able to fight emperors." A true extreme powerhouse has already taken another path, walked out of his own path, created his own path, and no longer followed the old path. Unfortunately, in the end, he was still in the heaven realm of life destruction, and no longer had the power to fight Heavenly Emperor. Fang Ping looked at Old Wang. Iron Head also looked at Old Wang, their faces blank. What did that mean? Old Wang was Battle Heavenly Emperor, but he could fight emperors? If that was the case, I am too. Ironhead rubbed his chin. If that was the case, then I was also very awesome back then. Then how did we die? Or did we not die, but chose to be reincarnated? Instead, no. Old Wang's heart was still here. Ironhead's expression suddenly turned solemn. If he really sealed himself, did he need to be so cruel to himself? Cut out his heart. Who dug out Old Wang's heart? At this moment, Ironhead suddenly had a bad feeling. Who could dig out his heart? If it was dug out, why did the Demon Emperor get it? Old Wang did not speak. He walked a few steps forward, walked to the wall, and touched the slightly damaged archery target. After a while, he chuckled softly and said, "It's just an ordinary stone, similar to the seat from before." Tian Mu also walked forward to take a look. He sighed and said, "This is scary. At our level, a target made of ordinary stones would be smashed with a casual hit. I saw that the arrow mark went into the stone, but there was only an arrow mark. There was no spread, not even a crack. At that level, he could still control his strength like this. Battle Heavenly Emperor. I'm afraid his control of strength was as high as 100%. This was the first powerhouse that they knew who could control 100% of strength. Great Emperor-level powerhouse. The aftermath spread, destroying heaven and earth. However, when the other party shot an arrow, forget about the aftermath. There was not even a crack on the stone archery target. What did this mean? It meant that the other party's strength was completely condensed in that small arrowhead. There was no leakage at all. This was something that Fang Ping and the others could not do. If Fang Ping were to shoot such an archery target, it would be extremely easy for him to pierce through and explode it. However, he could only leave an arrow mark and nothing else. It was difficult. Fang Ping glanced at Old Wang and smiled. "How are you now?" "Slightly better." Wang Jinyong smiled. "My heart showed signs of exploding just now. Now it seems to be much calmer. This place, after staying for a while, I feel a little at ease." There was some disappointment in his eyes. Perhaps this place really belonged to him. He actually liked this kind of layout. In the small courtyard of his house, when he was free, he would plant flowers and raise grass. When he wanted to practice martial arts, he would satisfy his craving, slash a few times, shoot a few arrows. This was the residence that he desired. Back then, from the layout of this residence, Battle Heavenly Emperor was not the kind of person who was arrogant, nor was he the kind of person who pursued tyranny. But so what? In the end, the other party was still annihilated. Wang Jinyang's gaze dimmed. In this world, it was impossible to be indifferent and live in seclusion. At that stage, if you did not fight for it, someone would force you to fight for it. In the small courtyard, the environment was elegant. It was as if it had never changed. There were no traces of a great battle here. While they were talking, Fang Ping had already looked at the flowers and plants. These flowers and plants did not seem to be transplanted later, but had always been here. How many years had it been? How many years had it been? They had not withered yet. Unbelievable. Logically speaking, if the flowers and plants were really from that time, even if they did not wither, they would have become demons by now. Why did they not become demons? Diyu, who planted these flowers and plants? They have always been here. Diyu looked at the flowers and plants, seemingly a little greedy. Fang Ping glanced at him and smiled faintly. Strange, these flowers and plants actually did not become demons. Diyu explained, this is where Battle Heavenly Emperor lived all year round. The Emperor's aura is thick here, suppressing the demons from developing spiritual intelligence. The demon plants around Emperor-level powerhouses will almost never become demons unless they are specially cultivated. In the past, we were also planted in the outer courtyard, coupled with the absorption of Emperor's blood. Only then did we develop spiritual intelligence. In other words, there were no demons around the Emperor-level powerhouses. As long as the Emperor-level powerhouses did not do it intentionally, then these demons would never truly become demons. It was the same for these flowers and plants. First, Battle Heavenly Emperor lived here. Then, the Demon Emperor also moved here. At the thought of this, Fang Ping suddenly looked at the two houses in front of him with some surprise. The house at the back seemed a little out of place with the environment, as if it was added later. Diyu also had good eyesight. Upon seeing this, he explained again, the one on the right is Master's residence. Master said that he did not want to occupy the nest of the magpie, and that it was fine to be neighbors with Battle Heavenly Emperor. The house on the left is where Battle Heavenly Emperor lived in the past. The one on the right is the bedroom that Master built later. Pretentious. Fang Ping did not have the intention of appreciating each other. He curled his lips and said, he even robbed Battle Heavenly Palace. Isn't he occupying the nest of the magpie? If this was not pretentious, then what was? If he had the ability, then he should not occupy Battle Heavenly Palace. He did not have a good impression of the Demon Emperor. It was better in the past. This time, however, he was very confused, and he was very angry, especially Old Wang's heart. Old Wang's heart in his past life was actually here. Fang Ping knew that it probably had little to do with the Demon Emperor. The Demon Emperor was not a person of that period. Using his heart as bait still made people uncomfortable. Battle Heavenly Emperor. Fang Ping looked at Old Wang. Was Old Wang really the master of this place? Battle Heavenly Emperor, an existence that even the Demon Emperor admired. How strong was the Demon Emperor? He did not know before, but now it was clear. One person fought more than 10 great emperors alone, killed so many people, and actually did not die. This was the Demon Emperor, Old Zhang, and the others might have underestimated the Demon Emperor. In the combat strength ranking given by Old Zhang, the subduing Heavenly King was number 1. Did the subduing Heavenly King have this ability? Fang Ping seriously doubted it. More than 10 great emperor powerhouses. One great emperor powerhouse should not have a problem dealing with 2 or 3 ordinary true kings, right? The battle king was also close to the emperor level, but he was not a true emperor level yet. He should have no problem dealing with 2 true kings. At the emperor level, he might be able to deal with 3 or 4. Did this not mean that the demon emperor alone could deal with 40 to 50 true king powerhouses? Because the emperor level had not undergone a qualitative change. It had not reached the point where there was a huge gap between them. True king powerhouses could still surround and kill the other party. Even old Zhang, if there were more than 10 true kings surrounding him now, he would also be in danger. It was very likely that he would be killed. What about the demon emperor? He was dealing with more than 10 great emperors, comparable to 40 to 50 true kings. Was old Wang so strong in his past life? No, maybe even stronger. The demon emperor said that he might be able to fight an emperor-level powerhouse. Judging from Diyu's tone, the demon emperor probably felt ashamed when he said this. Did that mean that he was even stronger? Just as Fang Ping was thinking about this, beside him, Jiang Chao suddenly exclaimed, "Who is it?" Everyone was shocked. Previously, no one had noticed. Now, everyone followed Jiang Chao's line of sight and saw that there seemed to be a figure standing on the left side of the bedroom, looking up at the sky. Fang Ping and the others were on guard. Who was there? There was no response at all. Everyone was terrified. Could it be the demon emperor that came out of this place? Just as everyone was panicking, the figure seemed to let out a deep sigh. There was no sound. However, that scene naturally appeared in everyone's mind. Someone was sighing. The figure sighed and dispersed in the blink of an eye, disappearing without a trace. Old Manly suddenly said, "It's not a person. It looks like a projection." Tianmu also said, "That's right. Maybe it was a powerhouse that stayed here back then. No, maybe it was a projection that stayed here for a long time." Everyone looked at old Wang. This was Heavenly Battle Thearka's bedroom. Someone was looking up at the sky on the roof, letting out a long sigh. Who could it be if not Heavenly Battle Arch? Or was it the Demon Emperor? Fang Ping looked at Diyu and said in a low voice, "Do you know what's going on with this figure?" Diyu was even more surprised than him. He hurriedly transmitted his voice. "I don't know. I rarely come to the backyard, but it's not the master." The figure was very illusory. He could not see its appearance or clothes. However, Diyu recognized unquestionable. Naturally, he would not mistake it. That was not unquestionable. Tai Tu could not help but say, "Old Wang, that's you, right? Why are you sighing on the roof for no reason? Were you dumped?" Wang Jinyang glanced at him, his face pale. He could not be bothered. Tai Tu said again, "Didn't Fang Ping say that God of War is a woman? That was a man just now, right?" Yao Chongjun could not stand it anymore. He growled, "Shut up. How could you believe Fang Ping's words? You believe whatever he says." Now, everyone was not sure if Heavenly Battle Arch was old Wang, but the probability was not small. Whether it was or not, it was no longer important. The 2 bedrooms in front were still waiting for everyone. Fang Ping looked at them, then at old Wang. Old Wang said, "On the right, the Demon Emperor's bedroom. The heart should be there." Unquestionable is such a pervert. Fang Ping cursed. What was the meaning of putting someone's heart in the house? It was still a bedroom. Admiring the heart for fun in the middle of the night. Then let's go to unquestionable first. He was about to take a step when Wang Jinyang suddenly said, "Where are those emperor corpses?" Diyu was silent for a moment, then said slowly, "They should be in Master's bedroom. There's an underground seal in Master's cultivation room. Master usually cultivates here to suppress these emperor corpses." Fang Ping was sure. Unquestionable was indeed a pervert. He even hid those emperor corpses in his bedroom. Was he admiring them even in his sleep? The more he understood, the more he felt that this person was sick and perverted. The emperor corpses are in the bedroom. Wang Jinyong frowned, looking at Fang Ping. Then my heart might be with the emperor corpses. I felt something was wrong with the blood demon earlier. It was too powerful. It might not only be the emperor's blood, but also the influence of the heart. Let's go in first. Be careful. Wang Jinyong still said that unquestionable Jian's resting chamber might be the real dangerous place. They were just about to take a step when Jiang Chao said in surprise from behind, "Everyone, these flowers and plants are all treasures. They were actually not taking them." This was beyond his expectations. Even if he could not sense it clearly, he could sense that the energy of these flowers and plants was shockingly rich. They were even more shocking than the fruits of the emperor blood tree. They were treasures. They were not even taking them. Fang Ping said while walking, "There's no hurry. Pack them up and bring them away later. Don't dig up a mess. It'll look better if we take them away as a whole." Jiang Chao grimaced. "All right, I overestimated you guys. I knew it. There were so many good things here." Fang Ping would not look at them, no matter what. He had already made up his mind to pack up this palace and bring it away. Jiang Chao was too lazy to say anything, but he still glanced at Diyu. Fang Ping did not pluck its fruits. This was not normal. Was he going to pack it up and bring it away too? That was true. It was not Fang Ping's style to only take the fruits. He might even bring the tree trunk away later and forge a rank 9 divine weapon along the way. Jiang Chao looked at Diyu sympathetically. "You better not be plotting against Fang Ping. If not, Fang Ping probably would not do anything to it if he was plotting against him. However, this tree would become a divine weapon." Diyu, who was floating forward, suddenly felt a chill. His old face appeared from behind, glancing at Jiang Chao. Jiang Chao cursed under his breath. The monster plant was really ugly. It could actually use its front and back as its face. Chapter 904. Unquestionable Sword. "I will definitely kill you. Kill, kill, kill." Everyone had just entered the resting chamber. There was no movement outside, but cold, fierce battle cries reverberated incessantly inside. In the spacious room, the battle cries were incessant. Everyone felt goosebumps rising on their skin. Resentment, unwillingness, despair, all kinds of emotions were vividly reflected in these voices. In the room, there seemed to be an apparition appearing, collapsing instantly, and reappearing in the blink of an eye. A few apparitions wearing emperor crowns on their heads kept appearing in the room. The resentment also came from these people. When Fang Ping and the rest entered, the other parties seemed to have seen them. A more solid apparition suddenly looked at Diyu, then laughed maniacally. "Diyu, let me out. Let me out, and I'll help you become a true god." "Diyu, let me go." The apparition sounded somewhat hysterical. Fang Ping and the rest were extremely vigilant. These were those great emperors. They were not completely dead. On the corpses, after many years, some remnant spiritual consciousness had really awakened. At this moment, Diyu's mentality was fluctuating. These fallen venerable emperors couldn't manifest their spiritual consciousness externally at all in the past few years. It seems that without master around, the seal is getting weaker and weaker. As it spoke, Fang Ping gestured to Old Man Li to keep an eye on it. These great emperors were so crazy, yet they even knew Diyu. Perhaps both parties had communicated before. As if sensing Fang Ping and the rest's vigilance, Diyu explained, "We've absorbed emperor blood to grow. Back then, when these great emperors' spiritual consciousness awakened, we've seen them a few times." The apparition did not care what they said, continuing to roar, "Let me go. Unquestionable sword dares to defy the heavens. You must die. You must die. Fong Ping's head hurt from the noise. He wanted to smash these fellows into pieces with a punch. There were a total of 3 apparitions. The one in front was the clearest, while the 2 at the back were somewhat illusory. Fong Ping sensed for a while the apparition was probably just something projected by a dash of mentality. It did not have much lethality. After thinking about it, Fong Ping said, "Venerable emperors, please calm down. We are here to save the venerable sovereigns. But as the saying goes, don't get up early if there's nothing to gain. Judging by your looks, you still have some sense. I don't ask for much. I'll let you go if Di Zun hands over the unique technique. Impudent, you mortals dare to threaten venerable sovereign. This is an unforgivable crime. Quickly open the seal and let this emperor out." The 3 shadows were all enraged. In their eyes, those who were not true gods were all mortals. How dare a mortal threaten a venerable sovereign? "Forget it. I can't be bothered to talk nonsense with you." When Fong Ping heard this crazy tone, he could not be bothered to say anything else. With a punch, he smashed the leading phantom into pieces. Tai Tu and Tian Mu also attacked. In the blink of an eye, the 3 venerable sovereigns' phantoms were completely shattered. How dare you? Impudent! As the spiritual energy of the fallen venerable sovereigns shattered, angry roars rang out again. They were furious, and their killing intent soared into the sky. These mortals actually dared to attack their spiritual consciousness. This was disgraceful. Di Yu also looked at these people in surprise, but he did not say anything. After all, they were just fallen venerable sovereigns, and now they were just a wisp of mentality projection. They did not have any abilities. Naturally, Fong Ping and the rest had nothing to worry about. After smashing these mentalities, Fong Ping picked his ears and said in a relaxed manner, "Finally, it's not so noisy anymore. It's much more relaxing." As he said that, he looked at old Wang and asked, "Can you sense where the heart is?" Wang Jinyang nodded slightly, pointing to a sealed house in the depths. "It's over there. It should be underground." Fong Ping nodded, and then said, "Take your time. Let's see if unquestionable Jian left anything here first. Don't barge in recklessly. It's easy to get into trouble." All right. Unquestionable Jian's bedroom was not small. The place where everyone was now seemed to be the living room where he usually received outsiders. There were also some other rooms. Everyone looked around the living room, but they did not see anything good. Very soon, they walked along the living room for a while, and an open-style room appeared in front of everyone. The study. Seeing this room, everyone knew what it was. The study. Fong Ping saw many of the crystal books from the bounded boundaries. Not only the crystal books, but there were also many animal skin books. Everyone rushed in. Di Yu's mentality fluctuated slightly, but he did not speak. Fong Ping went straight to the study table. The study table was very simple, and it seemed to be made of ordinary wood. On the table, there was also a crystal book. Fong Ping was very interested in this kind of book. Usually, the owner would read a book often, and that was why he would place it on the study table. He wanted to know what unquestionable Jian liked to read. Picking up the crystal book, Fong Ping's mentality poured in, and countless words appeared in his mind. After reading for a while, Fong Ping pulled Ironhead over and said, "Translate." Everyone was silent. Everyone looked at him strangely. Old Manly could not help but say, "Can't you learn some of these?" Fong Ping said, helplessly, "I don't have the energy. Moreover, these ancient words are different for different periods. It's a waste of time to learn them." Old Man Li did not even bother to complain. The school's ethos was not upright. This was MCMAU's problem. They did not teach Fong Ping to love learning. He only knew how to fight and kill, and they had raised him into a boorish man. This was MCMAU's misfortune. Ironhead grinned for a while, then said, "This book is random notes? I think it's this." Ironhead identified it and said slowly, "This seems to be some daily records left behind by a powerhouse. You guys can just treat it as a diary. Unquestionable gens. I don't know. We'll know when we read it." Ironhead read for a while, then continued, "Today, I met the Emperor. As soon as this sentence came out, everyone instantly realized that this was not unquestionable gens. During unquestionable gens era, there were no emperors. The Emperor said that the three realms are separated. Humans cultivate humanity, and immortals cultivate immortality. I believe that all beings in the three realms have the same path. There is no distinction between humans and immortals. Martial arts cultivates the body and cultivates the self. Different paths lead to the same goal. There is no need to separate." The Emperor did not agree with what I said. He talked about the immortal path and wanted to establish an immortal clan to completely separate humans and immortals. This is the Emperor's matter. However, to establish an immortal clan, I still do not agree with neglecting the essentials. The Emperor was a little unhappy. He was about to debate the path. Outside the house, that cat came to steal fruits from the imperial family again. The Emperor went out to chase it away. I'm afraid he was unwilling to say much. He only informed me. When Fong Ping heard this, he was dumbfounded. That cat? Which cat? Could it be the ash cat? It seemed like it was the only one. Ironhead also grinned as he spoke. He said, "I think it's the ash cat. This cat is not bad. It actually stole the Emperor's vegetable garden in the ancient times. No wonder it was so fat. No matter how bad the vegetables grown by the Emperor are, they can't be too bad, right?" Everyone could not help but laugh. They also confirmed one thing. The ash cat lived for a really long time. The phrase "stealing food again" meant that it was not the first time. Even the powerhouse who recorded the notes should know about the ash cat. Ironhead teased and continued, "Today, the Emperors are having a discussion and did not invite me. I'm afraid it has something to do with the three realms. The Emperors seem to be very concerned about the immortal path. They intend to completely differentiate between humans and immortals. The Emperors intend to change the situation of the three realms. They completely seal off the human world and establish an immortal source. What do the Emperors intend to do? Today, I heard from Dong Huang that the earthly Emperors intend to join forces to change the path of the Tao and establish rules. Rules? How can we cultivators be restricted like this?" Dong Huang seems to have agreed. "These fellow cultivators no longer ask me. Fine, I don't want to be meddlesome. However, how can the future generations agree to seal off the Tao?" At this point, everyone sobered up. "Sealing off the Tao," Tian Mu said in a low voice. "Is this the reason why the Emperor's path is blocked? In order to establish rules and differentiate between humans and immortals, the Emperors sealed off everyone's Tao?" Fong Ping did not care much about this. He smiled. "I'm more concerned about who wrote the notes." The Emperors actually sought him out for a discussion. He said, "Emperors? Obviously, he is not an emperor himself. Heavenly Emperor Zhan?" Ironhead seemed to be flipping through a book. Very quickly, he said, "There are some other records here. It doesn't seem to be written by Old Wang. Oh, it's not written by Heavenly Emperor Zhan." Ironhead continued to recite, "I don't agree with the immortal source stripping the human world's spiritual energy. I went to ask Zhan. Zhan said that the Emperor's actions might cause chaos. Zhan said that when necessary, he will shoot the immortal source and shatter the heavenly human realm wall. He will not let the human world end." Everyone looked at each other and at old Wang. Zhan. Was Heavenly Emperor Zhan called Zhan or Heavenly Emperor Zhan? No matter what it was called, it sounded very impressive. It sounded very simple. However, shattering the heavenly human realm wall. Now, everyone knew what the heavenly human realm wall was. Could it be broken by humans? However, Heavenly Emperor Zhan sounded very easy. Immortal source? What was the immortal source? Fang Ping frowned slightly, deep in thought. Ironhead continued. Zhan has already agreed to come out and will no longer sit by and watch. I originally wanted to contact all parties. Damn it, that stupid big brute came to me again. This idiot, other than martial arts, can he care about other things? The idiot insisted on saying that the path of the flesh is the fundamental path of humans. If the flesh is strong, nothing can break it. At this point, Ironhead's voice seemed to have become softer. His expression fluctuated. Idiot, I broke his armor today. Let this idiot go back and repair it, lest he gets in the way. Cough, cough, cough. Uffed. Everyone was trying hard to hold back their laughter. The idiot that this person was talking about, could it be Ironhead? Ironhead's face darkened. It couldn't be? I'm just casually reading. How can it implicate me? Fang Ping looked at Old Yao and smiled. Old Yao, don't tell me you wrote this? Yao Chengjun smiled bitterly. You ask me, I don't know. But I know that the idiot is most likely talking about Ironhead. You're the idiot. Ironhead scolded and said angrily, what does it have to do with me? Everyone burst out laughing. Fang Ping said, continue reading. This random notes is interesting. I seem to have found out some great secret. The heavenly realm was shattered. The emperors disappeared. You guys were resurrected. I seem to have found out something. Ironhead continued to read. Today, the immortal origin was built. The emperors were overjoyed. They summoned the emperors. Zhan is here. Zhan is usually peaceful. I didn't expect him to fly into a rage in court today. He pointed an arrow at the emperors. The emperors were humiliated. The earthly sovereign and Renhuang were furious. The East sovereign tried to dissuade him. They parted on bad terms. Something seems to have happened to Zhan. Someone surrounded Zhan. Damn it! Who is it? The emperors? Where's Zhan? The idiot is here. The idiot and I were worried about Zhan's current situation. We decided to go to the heavenly court to take a look. Damn it! That idiot Tengu. He gathered the powerhouses and surrounded the idiot. What a hindrance! To think that I praised him as an emperor in the past. He ruined everything. Zhan's aura is gone. Following Ironhead's translation, Fang Ping's gaze changed. He said, I didn't expect Tengu to appear too. Surrounded the idiot. Ironhead, this matches up with what Wang Ruobing said. Ironhead scared Tengu away. Tengu clamored for help. As expected, he really called for help. It seemed like he had ruined everything. The owner of the notes, and Ironhead seemed to be preparing to look for Zhan Tiandi. In the end, they were surrounded by Tengu on the way. Zhan Tiandi disappeared before they could find him. Fang Ping took a deep breath and asked, what happened after that? After that, Ironhead seemed to be flipping through it. He shook his head and said, there seems to be no more records after that. Tengu's attack on them should be the last record. After that, maybe he was too busy or the situation was tense, so he didn't record anymore. The notes was not long. It was like a diary. However, there were too many things recorded in these short words. Fang Ping asked suddenly, can you understand the words of the heavenly realm era? Ironhead was stunned. After a while, he scratched his head and said, it's not the words of the heavenly realm. It's the words of the land of boundaries era. Fang Ping said in a low voice, that means this is actually Unquestionable Jian's translation. He translated this notes on purpose. He might have destroyed it originally. He might have recorded more things. But he didn't translate everything. He only kept a part of it. Everyone, do you feel a little bit? Everyone glanced at each other. Jiang Chao nodded and said, I can hear it. It seems like he wants us to be hostile to the emperors. The information revealed in the words is that the emperors are controlling everything behind the scenes. To distinguish human and immortal, establish the immortal source, make the human world end in dharma, besiege and kill, block the Tao. From these, the emperors are not good people. In order to consolidate their rule and establish rules, they killed these rebellious powerhouses, which led to the outbreak of the Heavenly Realm Great War. Since Jiang Chao could hear it, of course, everyone could hear it too. Iron Head did not care about this. He chuckled and said, Everyone, let's talk about this later. Did you hear it? He and the stupid idiot want to go to the Heavenly Court to take a look. The Heavenly Court. Ironhead grinned and said, There's actually a Heavenly Court. The Heavenly Realm's ruling organization. Fong Ping, you can't even explain that you're not the Celestial Emperor. But the Celestial Emperor is Tengu. Could it be that the ruler of the Heavenly Court is not called the Celestial Emperor? That's right. All the emperors are here. In that case, it might be the Heavenly Emperor. Iron Head seemed to have discovered a big secret. Fong Ping said sarcastically, Don't say any more. That idiot is talking about you. You're a guy who can't do anything right. From what you're saying, it sounds like you scared Tengu. Tengu found someone to take revenge on you, causing a big mess. Heavenly Emperor Zhan disappeared. I don't know if he's dead or something. Li Hansong said innocently, Even if it's me, it has nothing to do with me. This matter should be blamed on Tengu. This dog is too narrow-minded. Just because of this trivial matter, he really found someone to take revenge. They did not pay much attention to what Wang Ruobing said previously. But looking at it now, maybe this matter was a big deal. Maybe it was also because of this that a series of unforeseen events happened later. Fong Ping rubbed his chin and said, Dong Huang. Wang Ruobing said you went to Dong Huang to help in the battle. Could it be to deal with the owner of the transcripts? I think it's Old Yao for now. That means you went to Dong Huang to deal with Old Yao. In that case, you're not Old Yao's opponent. You also want to take revenge on him. You're exactly the same as Tengu. But you said you went to look for your enemy. It might not be Old Yao. Looks like you and Old Yao even joined forces to look for Heavenly Emperor Zhan later on, which is also Old Wang. Fong Ping shook his head and said, Forget it. The matters of your era are too complicated. Who knows if you're talking about the real enemy or if you're just making a ruckus? The owner of the transcripts said that he once praised Tengu for having the bearing of an emperor. This matches up with what the old cat said. The old cat said that Blackface said he was not as good as Tengu. It's more or less what he meant. Fong Ping said for a while and said, This unquestionable sword book seems to be left here on purpose. It concerns some secrets of the ancient heaven world. I don't know what he's trying to do. Old Manly interrupted, Let's not care about this first. Heavenly Emperor Zhan might have really been killed. Wang Jinyang is very likely his reincarnation. If that's the case, Heavenly Emperor Zhan's heart has been ripped out. Is the person who killed him so hostile? Or is it that his heart is unusual and very important? That's why it wasn't destroyed. Let's go take a look. All right. Is there an introduction to these emperor corpses? Fong Ping asked. In the crowd, Jiang Hao held a book and said, There are some, sealing the corpses of the emperors and using the power contained in their corpses to maintain the operation of the entire emperor's tomb. This is one of the points of sealing the emperor's corpses. There's another point. I think it's to maintain the activity of the heart. Jiang Hao frowned. That should be it. The emperor's corpses are mainly for nothing else but to revive the heart. Previously, Heavenly Emperor Jean's heart seemed to be in a dead period. The demon emperor used the emperor's blood to nourish the heart. Then let's go take a look. Fang Ping took a step and walked towards the cultivation room. That was where the unquestionable sword sealed the emperors. At this moment, Du, who had been silent all this while, suddenly said, "Don't break the seal rashly. A few of the emperor's spiritual consciousnesses are still lingering. Once the seal is broken, they might revive. When that time comes, we'll be in trouble." Fang Ping turned his head to look at it and said with a faint smile, "Previously, you let us in and said that the demon emperor left something for us. But now we don't see anything. Obviously, the thing you're talking about is probably the heart. If that's the case, then we have no choice but to break the seal and enter the place where the emperor's corpses are sealed. It seems like we have no choice but to do this. I'm curious, does the demon emperor know that breaking the seal might awaken the emperor's corpses? Since there's this possibility, why not make it simpler? Or is it because we have no choice but to do this? This is also a test for us." Du was a little hesitant. Fang Ping sneered again and said, "So your original intention is actually for us to break the seal. Whether it's you or the demon emperor, it seems like both of you mean the same thing. If that's the case, why do you have to pretend to advise us? Actually, I'm just curious about one thing. Is there any benefit in breaking the seal and letting these emperors' corpses out? Why do you want to let them go?" Du seemed like he wanted to explain. Fang Ping waved his hand and said with a smile, "I just want to ask, how strong are the awakened emperor's corpses?" "The emperor's corpse's power has been extracted for many years. I'm afraid there's not much left, but the emperor's corpses are the corpses of emperors. Even if there's no power left, they're probably not weaker than some origin powerhouses. That's good. 3 emperors' corpses that can awaken, right?" Fang Ping looked at Tian Mu and Old Man Li and said, "The 3 of us, 1 each. If we're really no match for them, we'll snatch their hearts and leave. As for the rest, we don't care. It's not like we're the ones who caused the trouble. Moreover, this was still the catacombs. In the boundary zone, Fang Ping did not care at all about what would happen to these emperors' corpses after they came out. If they only had the strength of origin, he would not be afraid of the other party. At this moment, Old Wang said lightly, "Where's the sky punishing sword?" "It should be in the seal too." Old Wang nodded slightly and did not ask any more. These words, however, reminded Fang Ping that the sky punishing sword was still in the seal. He did not know if any unforeseen events would happen. Fang Ping did not say anything more. He strode toward the cultivation room. Today, it was time to end everything. No matter what unquestionable sword was plotting, at this point, he did not care anymore. Everything would be fine once he had the strength. Chapter 905. Cultivation Room. It was a simple setup. Unquestionable Jian was obviously a hard-working cultivator. Everyone could tell at first glance that a martial artist and his cultivation room was the best way to understand a person's condition. Qin Fengqing's cultivation room was empty. Fang Ping's cultivation room was empty except for a cushion. Everyone else was more or less the same. Some second-generation martial artists liked to decorate their training rooms with gaudy, magnificent, and large piles of weapons. Such people didn't have much of a future. There was only one cattail hassock in the cultivation room. Fang Ping did not care about this at first. Jiang Chao, who was walking around, suddenly kicked the cattail hassock away. Fang Ping was about to scold him and ask him not to run around. At that moment, Fang Ping's eyes moved slightly. He looked at the line of words below the cattail hassock. "Come read it." Fang Ping kicked Ironhead. This guy was still talking about Heavenly Court. Heavenly Court, my ass. This guy's brain circuit was very special recently. Fong Ping wanted to scold him for being an idiot. Ironhead glanced at it and said casually, hatred will blind people. That's what it means. Fong Ping rubbed his chin. After pondering for a while, he said, interesting. Looks like unquestionable Jian also feels that he's been blinded by hatred. His wife's death must have been a huge blow to him. However, he must avenge his wife's death. I'm thinking about something now. Who killed his wife? Is his enemy dead or not? Naturally, no one was able to answer this question. Fong Ping looked at Du. Du said telepathically, I don't know either. Master never mentioned it. It was unlikely that someone like unquestionable Jian would talk about this with the demons. Forget it. Let's look for the seal. Where is it? Fong Ping had just finished speaking when Old Wang pointed at the line of words. It's here. Fong Ping looked at the ground. There was nothing unusual. Was this where the seal was? How was he going to open it? At that moment, Du said again, if you want to open the seal, I'm afraid you'll have to do it. He was talking about Old Wang. Old Wang took a deep breath, suppressed the restlessness in his heart, and extended his hand toward the ground. When his vitality force erupted, Fong Ping and the others felt the entire bedchamber shake. Since it had come to this, everyone was ready for a big battle. Fong Ping and the others had their divine weapons on them, waiting for the big battle to break out. At the side, Li Hansong and the others were also keeping an eye on Du. If anything happened, they would immediately attack and kill it. Rumble. The combat heavenly palace was shaking, the emperor's tomb was shaking, and even the entire domain was shaking. Outside, the combat heavenly palace. Qi Huanyu stabbed a 9th-grade demon plant to death with his spear and yelled furiously, "Get out of the way!" In a short period of time, 7 or 8 of these monster plants had been killed. 4 of the rank 9s had fallen, but they still did not retreat. This surprised Qi Huanyu and the others. These demon plants had come to block the path with the determination to die. What were they trying to do? Just to protect Master's palace? At this moment, the leading Emperor Blood Tree's mental energy fluctuated violently as it said with a smile, "The seal has been opened. Master will return very soon." Everyone frowned. Qi Huanyu and Zhao Xingwu charged toward it without saying a word. At the back of the crowd, Li Wuqi, the water buffalo, looked at the demon swordsman and transmitted his voice. "Jian He, you said they are traitors? Why don't I think so?" The Emperor Blood Tree clan was still fighting to the death until now. No matter how one looked at it, it did not look like they were traitors. The demon swordsman also transmitted his voice. They have other plans. Once the seal is opened, something big is going to happen. 3 venerable emperors have awakened. Everyone is in danger. "Jian Yi, what are you hiding?" Li Wuqi roared in a low voice again. He felt some danger. The demon swordsman seemed to have other plans. This demon tree was probably not as pure as he claimed. "Jian Yi has nothing to ask for. I only want Master's enemy to be completely destroyed, not resurrected." The demon swordsman transmitted his voice. His body moved like a sword, drawing a dazzling path in the air. Using his body as a sword, he slashed out and directly destroyed a rank 8 Emperor Blood Tree. Li Wuqi glared at the demon swordsman. Seeing this, he did not ask anymore. His forehooves stepped in the air, and a sharp golden light erupted from his horns. A golden ray shot out, and like the demon swordsman, he killed a rank 8 Emperor Blood Tree with one strike. If these 2 powerhouses attacked a rank 8, the result would be an instant kill. The others also attacked. Many of the 18 Emperor Blood Trees had already died. Now that more of them were killed, they could no longer stop the others. With Zhao Xingwu and Qi Huanyu working together, the Emperor Blood Tree clan chief's branches and leaves were shattered. Blood-red blood gushed out. At this time, the entire combat heavenly palace shook even more violently. Seeing this, the demon swordsman's mind energy fluctuated violently. Quick, kill them and enter the imperial palace. Otherwise, we will all die. Before the venerable emperors awaken, kill them and take the gateway of Tao. Even though they knew the demon swordsman was up to no good, everyone was moved by his words. The gateway of Tao for venerable emperors. Who did not want to take it? The battle became even more intense. People died from time to time, and there were also demon clan members who died. The entire imperial tomb was filled with blood chi. More and more powerhouses died, making the sky even more blood-red. Outside the bounded domain, Imperial Sea Mountain, Zhang Tao, who had promised not to come, suddenly appeared beside the warlord. The warlord was not surprised, but he asked curiously, "Is that thing done?" "Soon. It's fine to leave for a while. What are you doing here? Are you worried about this old man?" "No." Zhang Tao looked at the bounded domain and the blood-red area. Suddenly, his eyes turned cold. "I may have guessed what unquestionable Jian is going to do. This guy is actually raising Gu." "Raising Gu?" The warlord really did not understand. He turned the imperial tomb into a place to raise Gu, raising those emperor corpses. What is he using to raise them? This guy? How daring! How daring! He is not suppressing the emperor corpses. He is raising Gu, but how does he control these emperor corpses? The warlord frowned. What was unquestionable Jian doing? Little Sword is raising the corpses. At this moment, in the Forbidden Sea, the gray cat was even sadder. He is raising the corpses, using that blood-red guy's heart to raise the corpses. When the imperial tomb was in a riot, the gray cat saw many things. Its heaven-punishing sword was over there, and it could sense many things. Little Sword is changing the blood of those corpses. Once the heart returns to that blood-red guy, those corpses will listen to him. But the heart has also been planted by Little Sword. That blood-red guy will go crazy and become an irrational lunatic. The gray cat was even sadder. So many people went in this time just to use blood to activate something. The Grand Formation was activated. At this moment, the killing array laid down by Xiao Jian was completely activated. No one could enter or exit it. When that blood-red guy got his heart and the heart returned, he would be attacked by the frantic spiritual consciousness of those great emperors and go crazy. Did Little Sword want him to kill those people, kill the swindler and the others, walk the same path as Little Sword, and completely destroy the world? An expert with the strength of an emperor level, bringing the corpses of several experts with the strength of an emperor level, just to destroy the world. The world was going to be in chaos. The more the gray cat watched, the sadder he became. Such a Little Sword was no longer the guy who accompanied him to fish. He had changed. Why? The gray cat murmured, very sad. In the bounded domain, Gong Yuzi's face was indifferent. It had begun. Zhan Tiandi was here. This expert who could fight an emperor-level expert back then was here. When his heart returned, how much of his strength would this Zhan Tiandi recover, in addition to the 3 complete emperor corpses? As long as they were given some time, they would soon recover their full strength. By then, there would be several crazy great emperors and a top great emperor like Zhan Tiandi. The world was going to be in chaos. Q-Sword, this is not what Master wants to see, but I have returned what I owed you. Everything that you said back then, Master has completed for you. Gong Yuzi suddenly sighed. Before Q-Sword left back then, he had completed everything that he had entrusted to him. the opening of the emperor's tomb, the arrival of Jean Tiandi. He had completed everything. Gong Yuzi looked in the direction of Imperial Sea Mountain and murmured, "Zhang Tao, is it you or him?" After saying that, Gong Yuzi looked at the purple cap mountain behind him and the sky palace behind him. It was time for him to go. After the matter of the emperor's tomb, the world was going to be in chaos. Q-Sword had even schemed against Heavenly Emperor Dragon transformation. Heavenly Emperor Dragon transformation was one of the strongest among the great emperors and also the oldest. After this matter ended, there might be a war between the ancient great emperors. One by one, the hidden great emperors would appear in advance. Chaos was coming. Gong Yuzi thought to himself and sighed again. The chaos had been brought forward by a few years. He did not know what Q-Sword was trying to do. Inside the Battle Heavenly Palace, there was a rumble, accompanied by a violent explosion. The entire ground was shaking. Then, in the cultivation room, a crack opened. "Kill! Q-Sword, you deserve to die. Kill them all." Several chaotic shouts broke out. However, there were only shouts and no movement. Fang Ping frowned. Without hesitation, he shouted, "Go down!" Having said that, he took the lead and jumped down directly. The moment he jumped down, Fang Ping suddenly clutched his heart. Not only him, but the people who followed him down also clutched their hearts. Bang! Bang! The beating of their hearts seemed to have suppressed everything. They seemed to have entered a different world. It was very small, only a few hundred square meters in size. The different world was also blood red. The most eye-catching thing was in a blood pool. A fist-sized heart was suspended in the air, beating slowly. Above the heart, there seemed to be a few lines that were connected to the blood pool. And in the blood pool, at this moment, a few shadows appeared. There seemed to be a few corpses floating in the blood pool. Those were the great emperor's corpses. These corpses seemed to be moving at this moment. The heart was still beating slowly. Not only the heart. On top of the heart, there was a sword. The small sword was not considered big. At this moment, it was stuck on top of the heart, piercing through it. Inside the heart, there were still drops of blood dripping down, dripping into the blood pool. Wang Jinyang's face was deathly pale. He clutched his chest, unable to speak. Sky Destroyer! Fang Ping instantly realized what that was. Q-Sword Sky Destroyer was not to suppress these emperor corpses, but to suppress old Wang's heart. He used Sky Destroyer to suppress the heart, letting it bleed. Wang Jinyang's face was deathly pale, sweating profusely. At this moment, it was as if there was a connection with the heart, unusually painful. Damn bastard! Fang Ping suddenly cursed. Q-Sword! This fellow was actually suppressing old Wang's heart. At this moment, Yu suddenly said, "Honorable guest, this should be the gift that Master left for you." "Oh no, these emperor corpses are about to awaken. Quickly take the heart and leave this place." As Yu spoke, the few corpses in the blood pool suddenly opened their eyes. At this moment, the few shadows floating above the blood pool gradually condensed. The leading great emperor powerhouse seemed to have sobered up a lot. He glanced at the heart floating in front of him, then at the Sky Destroyer above the heart. Suddenly, he sighed softly. "Sky Destroyer sword. Sky Destroyer arrow is more like it." Having said that, he looked at Wang Jinyang and said, as if he was talking in his sleep, "Heavenly Emperor Zhan, you are really still alive. Q-Sword, he wants that damn bastard." The shadow suddenly became a little confused, roaring, "Leave! Remember, don't go deep into the sea of suffering." In this short moment, the shadow's expression suddenly turned ferocious. "Kill!" At this moment, the shadow seemed to have lost its mind. It did not attack Wang Jinyang, but Fang Ping and the rest instantly. As the shadow moved, the corpses in the blood pool seemed to be pulled and floated up too. Du seemed to have discovered something. His mentality fluctuated violently. The heart. They're absorbing the heart's energy. Quick, cut off the source of energy and seize the heart. Don't let them recover completely. Fang Ping and the rest could also see that the emperor corpses seemed to be absorbing the heart's energy. The blood dripping from the heart was very little before, but now it was suddenly increasing. Old Wang was also in even more unbearable pain. Those emperor corpses' strength had just barely reached rank 9 previously. In the blink of an eye, their auras had become a whole lot stronger. Iron Head, go get the heart. Old Li, let's kill the enemies. Fang Ping let out a low roar and shot out. Wielding his saber, he charged toward a corpse that had already stepped out of the blood pool. Li Changsheng and Iron Head also did not say a word, swiftly charging toward the other 2 corpses. In the blood pool, there were a total of 6 corpses. At this moment, 3 corpses were starting to recover. The other 3 seemed to be slightly damaged, but they were also in the process of recovering. It was just that they did not have shadows, more like dead people, unlike the 3 corpses that had already recovered and had even conversed with them before. In the small space, in the blink of an eye, there was a massacre. Fang Ping had just exchanged blows with this emperor rank corpse when he felt immense pressure. Although the other party's energy had faded, it seemed that the pressure was still there, giving him a great deal of pressure. The other party did not have a weapon. It was just a simple mechanical punch and palm, but it seemed to have gone through thousands of tempering. When Fang Ping slashed with his saber, the other party did not seem to deliberately evade. It just walked casually, and a palm struck Fang Ping's left arm. A crack sounded. The 8 refinement's golden body actually showed signs of bones shattering at this moment. Fang Ping's expression changed drastically. At the same time, the most miserable one was Tianmu. The emperor corpse that he was fighting seemed to be the one that had recovered some of its consciousness earlier. Obviously, that one was the strongest. Tianmu's punch landed on the other party's head. The other party shifted slightly, and a simple palm strike pierced through Tianmu's chest. Seeing this, Tianmu roared, "These emperor corpses are very strong. They still retain their combat experience when they were alive. Very strong. Be careful." At this moment, Old Man Li was also under great pressure. His figure was like lightning, entangling with an emperor corpse. When he heard this, he shouted, "Be careful yourself. These guys' golden bodies are comparable to 8 refinements. F***CK. Their strength has declined to this extent, but they're still so strong." These emperor corpses had been absorbing energy for many years. Their energy was only comparable to ordinary rank 9 powerhouses. However, the other party's combat techniques experience pressure. After thousands of tempering, they were much stronger than the rest. At this moment, the 3 of them were quickly falling into a disadvantageous position. Moreover, the other party was still in the process of recovering, its strength getting stronger and stronger. If this went on, the 3 of them would definitely not be a match for it. At this moment, Li Hansong had already soared into the air, flying toward the heart. In the end, he had just flown into the vicinity of the blood pool. In the pool, 3 broken emperor corpses suddenly erupted. Even without their consciousness, they were extremely powerful. With a punch, a palm, and a kick, they sent Li Hansong flying directly. Seeing this, Yao Qingjun was a little hesitant. He was guarding Du and also had to protect Wang Jinyang. At this moment, he might not be able to help in the battle. Seeing this, Jiang Hao did not say a word. Wielding his sword, he charged over quickly, helping Li Hansong resist the enemy. Jiang Chao looked left and right, looking helpless. I'm very weak. A rank 7, have not even fought a few times. Right now, the weakest 3 emperor corpses probably have the strength of a weak rank 9. Li Hansong's divine armor appeared, blocking the main pressure. Jiang Hao was comparable to a rank 8. He could also fight with some difficulty. As a rank 7, if he fought, he would probably be looking for a beating. Jiang Chao looked left and right, roaring, "What should I do?" Fang Ping shouted, "You bring old Wang out." As soon as he said this, Wang Jinyong panted violently. I can't go. The heart. I have to get it. Fatty, send me to the heart." The heart was still beating slowly. Wang Jinyong looked at the heart, his gaze slightly dazed. He looked at the sword pierced through the heart. Sky-crushing sword. Sky-crushing arrow? His bow. There was only the bow, no arrow. He had always felt that there might really be no arrow. Usually, he also condensed the arrow using the vitality box's power. But now, it seemed like there was an arrow. Unquestionable sword pierced through his heart with sky-crushing sword, causing blood to flow. Was there any special meaning behind it? Wang Jinyong was not in the mood to think about it. Right now, his consciousness was starting to blur. That heart had too much of an impact on him. At this moment, Wang Jinyong suddenly felt a little self-deprecating. If he came here alone this time, what kind of scene would it be? Would he be able to come here smoothly? Was unquestionable sword so confident that he would be able to get the gift he gave? Du had said that unquestionable sword had long said that he would give this thing to him. But how could he get it smoothly? One had to know that from the moment he entered the emperor's tomb, his power had started to go out of control. Even at this moment, Wang Jinyong still managed to maintain his calm. If he wanted to send him in, then he had to start from the beginning. If he really came here alone and wanted to ensure that he entered safely and arrived here safely, unquestionable sword would not want to see him die in the periphery, right? Someone will escort me in. When I reach here, the Emperor Blood Tree clan will receive me. They will ensure that I can enter this place. Sword Tree clan. Emperor Blood Tree clan. At this moment, old Wang suddenly came to his senses. They were in cahoots, one from the inside and the other from the outside, ensuring that he could enter. Not only that, maybe there was someone secretly protecting him, such as Gong Yuzi. Even without Fang Ping, he should be able to come here smoothly this time. Fang Ping, Wang Jinyong suddenly shouted. Fang Ping happened to be flying backward from the Emperor Corpse's attack. He growled in a low voice, "What's wrong? Kill the demon. Kill the blood." Fang Ping's gaze changed instantly. Without saying a word, he suddenly charged toward the imprisoned Du. On Du's torso, the old face changed. He transmitted his voice. "Sir, what do you mean? This lowly demon is innocent. Kill. Shatter. Destroy." Fang Ping roared. At this moment, Yao Chengjun also wielded his God Destroyer spear. His mentality erupted. The crystal ring that imprisoned Du exploded with a rumble, causing Du's mentality to scream in pain. Fang Ping abandoned the Emperor Corpse and attacked Du directly. Although it was unexpected, no one questioned it at this moment. Tian Mu and Old Man Li roared angrily. The two of them joined forces and barely managed to entangle the Emperor Corpse that Fang Ping had abandoned. Even though it was beaten until its golden body began to crack, it still rose violently and counterattacked the Emperor Corpse. The battle became fierce in an instant. Chapter 906. Inside the combat heavenly palace, the killing was intense. Blood also flowed like a river outside the combat heavenly palace. The entire tomb was red. Meanwhile, Outside the domain, near Mount Royal Sea, a phantom was faintly discernible, very strong. These words came from Zhang Tao in the distance. Zhang Tao, who had always been arrogant, showed a rare vigilance. He seemed to be talking to himself. "You're the dragon transformation celestial emperor?" "Yes." "Why are you here?" "Save them." The voice of the illusory figure was very soft, but it still echoed in Zhang Tao's ears. "I'm at the end of my lifespan, but I'm afraid I haven't forgotten. My daughter is innocent. 1,000 years ago, unquestionable Jian said that on the day the emperor's tomb opens, there would be an item that could save my daughter. So I had no choice but to come." Unquestionable sword looked for venerable emperor. Zhang Tao called him emperor, acknowledging that this person was a true emperor master. As for the other great emperors, they had more or less dropped in cultivation. "No, I didn't. We just exchanged a few words. I didn't participate in the matter regarding the unquestionable sword. What do I need to save the daughter of the sovereign? I don't know. When my daughter was born, the great Tao was incomplete. Her life was overflowing and couldn't be suppressed. Only by continuously sealing her would my little girl be able to survive. If I want to save my little girl, I must use an item that is full of origin source. Only an item that is extraordinarily full of origin source can do it. In the past, there were some treasures in the heaven realm that could save my daughter, but they were all in the hands of the emperors. This emperor once went to ask for medicine, but all the emperors declined. Unquestionable Jian had been to the heaven realm before. He should know about my daughter, since he said that he must have something to rely on. 1,000 years ago, I came to the emperor's tomb once, but Gong Yuzi prevented me from entering. Today, when the emperor's tomb opens, I will seize the treasure for my daughter no matter what. I will allow my daughter to live another life and not suffer the pain of being sealed. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation said a lot. My daughter is very old, almost 10,000 years old. However, the actual time he had been active in the outside world was less than 20 years. He woke up once every 100 years, and each time he woke up, it would only take 1 or 2 years. Such days were too torturous. Dragon Transformation Heavenly Emperor this life, he experienced far too much. When the heaven realm was still around, before the sovereigns had achieved their Tao, he was already born. He had witnessed emperors achieving the Tao, witnessed extreme experts fighting against the heavens and destroying the earth, witnessed the grand occasion of the heavenly court, witnessed the destruction of the heavenly realm, and witnessed too much. Thousands of years ago, when the Earth Emperor Divine Dynasty was destroyed, he had participated in the war. That battle was not for the imperial path. The earthly sovereign once had a treasure that could save people. He felt that the projection of the earthly sovereign might have left this treasure behind, so he participated in the battle. But in the end, there was nothing. All these years, he had lost all hope. It was only until that year, when unquestionable Jian spoke to him from outside the Brahma passing heaven, that he had hope. From the start of the tomb, he unsealed his daughter and let her go. Unquestionable Sword once said that if his daughter went there, she would definitely gain something. He was worried, so he personally rushed over to watch over this place. As long as his daughter sensed it, he would charge into the emperor's tomb and seize the treasure. Zhang Tao sighed softly and didn't say anything. Even a venerable sovereign Gula, like the Dragon Transformation Celestial Emperor, had been drawn out, and it seemed like the Dragon Transformation Celestial Emperor wouldn't give up this time. In that case, there might be a war between emperors. I don't mean any harm, Diyu tried to explain again, but at this moment, he was dizzy from the explosion of the beast-taming hoop. Before he could finish speaking, Fong Ping had already slashed at him. I just want to kill you. There's no other reason. I'm eyeing your emperor blood fruit. Fong Ping was that straightforward. It was not easy to strike before, but now that Old Wang said to kill, he would do it. Old Wang rarely said these things. He was not the kind of person who would kill and seize treasures just for the sake of treasures. Back when he was rank 2, Fong Ping, a normal person, a stranger, had split the loot with him. Old Wang had never thought of killing and seizing treasures. This time, under such circumstances, he actually asked him to kill the Emperor Blood Tree. There must be a reason. Du saw that his murderous intent was boiling and did not say anything else. His torso suddenly enlarged like a swordsman. Countless branches suddenly unleashed swordsmanship combat techniques. The branches and leaves were like sharp swords, swiftly attacking Fong Ping. Not only Fong Ping, but Yao Qingjun and the rest were also included in it. You hit it well. Fong Ping sneered. When he took down the other party previously, he did not see that the other party knew swordsmanship. Honorable guest, why do you have to force me? I force my ass. Fong Ping scolded loudly, slashing out with his saber, smashing the other party's branches and leaves. He sneered, "Don't play this game with me. Trying to trick me? Dream on. This time, everything in the Emperor's tomb will be mine. Do you really think that I have no confidence at all?" As soon as he finished speaking, there was a sudden burst of battle cries from the periphery, inside Combat Heavenly Palace. At this moment, a group of people had already charged in. At this moment, Qi Huanyu suddenly joined forces with Zhao Xingwu, exploding together and killing indiscriminately, killing on sight. It wasn't just these two. Ji Yao's and Hua Yu's divine generals had also erupted. These people killed on sight. Blood flowed like a river. Although there were not many people, these people were all powerhouses. Blood gushed out unstoppably. Ji Yao looked coldly at the place where the people were fighting, not saying a word. Hua Yu fanned his fan, looked at Ji Yao, smiled, and said playfully, "Ji Yao, it's not good to kill indiscriminately like this, right?" Ji Yao sneered, but did not reply. Seeing this, Hua Yu transmitted his voice. What benefits did Fong Ping agree to? Ji Yao looked at him coldly, and after a while she transmitted back, "What about you?" "A complete emperor corpse. That's all." Hua Yu said with a smile, "Not much." Fong Ping said that the emperor corpse is not the key. He will help me extract the origin of great Tao. Even Ancestor Wang might not be able to do this. Fong Ping should be confident. Tianmu, who is by his side, extracted King Pine's great Tao. I only want this. He did not care about treasures. Was there any use? With a complete Emperor Powerhouse's great Tao, he might be able to quickly enter the Emperor realm. This was the biggest reward. Aren't you afraid that he will go back on his word? This is not the first time he has done this. Ji Yao replied indifferently. Hua Yu laughed. No matter. To show his sincerity, he left 100,000 origin of imperishable substance. If he gives it to the Emperor corpse, he will return it. If not, it will belong to me. It won't be too late to turn hostile then. As he spoke, Hua Yu casually fished around a flower bed. An incomparably dim golden orb fell into his hand. Hua Yu laughed. This is good stuff. I don't think he cares about the fallen emperor's path, but he might care more about this. Ji Yao sneered. Did Fong Ping lack this? It seemed that Hua Yu had never expected Fong Ping to keep his word. He just wanted to get rid of the others first. Hua Yu looked at her. What about you? What did Fong Ping promise you? Sky punishing sword, Emperor corpse, any 3 celestial world treasures. You believe him? I do, Ji Yao said indifferently, because he used this to win my trust. As she finished speaking, she made a grabbing motion, and a crystal book appeared in her hand. At this moment, many people looked over even though they were fighting. Hua Yu's expression changed. He stopped transmitting and said in a low voice, True emperor's ultimate art. Wrong. King Wu's ultimate art. Ji Yao said indifferently, hand over those and return this to him. It doesn't matter if you don't hand it over. King Wu's ultimate art is here. Ancestor Wang will be happier to hand it over than the sky-punishing sword. Grandpa Huanyu, kill all these people. They are so annoying. Do they really think the world belongs to them? Laughable. Qi Huanyu cracked Li Wuji's bullhorn with a spear and laughed. It's worth it. Yao, it's worth it regardless of whether we get anything from the tomb. Too worth it. King Wu's ultimate art. Hua Yu's expression darkened. He said in a low voice, are you sure it's true? Ji Yao was indifferent, too lazy to reply. If I wasn't sure, I wouldn't have let Grandpa Huanyu do it. Fang Ping had placed a heavy bet this time. He only wanted what he wanted. He could give the rest away. However, Fang Ping had placed a mentality seal on the ultimate art. That guy was not prepared to give it away, and was prepared to exchange the emperor corpse. Ji Yao was not in a hurry to break the seal, lest she destroyed King Wu's ultimate art. Who was King Wu? Even Ancestor Wang said that King Wu was a top powerhouse, second only to Heavenly King Subduing among the revived martial artists. If they fought to the death, he might not win. This was King Wu's ultimate art. When Ji Yao heard that Fang Ping wanted to use it as collateral, her first thought was to just leave with King Wu's ultimate art. Was the emperor's tomb really more important than King Wu's ultimate art? Disregarding whether she could find King Wu's flaws, just the ultimate art of a top powerhouse. Even if she did not walk the martial king's path, she might be able to walk a decent path by using it as a reference. The premise was that she would not be too incompatible with King Wu's ultimate art. Ji Yao was too lazy to say anything. She continued to watch everyone fight. At this moment, someone roared from afar, "Come in and help. The emperor corpse has been revived. It's extremely powerful. If you want the emperor corpse, do it yourself." Ji Yao said indifferently, "Fang Ping, you want us to help you clean up? You agreed to the emperor corpse yourself. If we could take it, would we still need you to state your conditions? If you can't take the emperor corpse, we'll take it. Then it'll be ours. Including King Wu's ultimate art. It'll be ours too." Fang Ping scolded, "Ji Yao, we've worked together many times. Is there a need to calculate it so clearly? I've said it before. I don't care about the emperor corpse. I only want what I want. Everyone gets their own benefits. Isn't that good? Su Bing, you guys go kill those guys for me and come in and help. Otherwise, I'll go back. If I don't kill a few great emperors this time, I'll change my surname to yours. Motherf asterisk cur. They even want to scheme against me. Do they really think I'm easy to mess with? Observe a few grandmasters tomorrow." Before I left, I told them that if I didn't go back, they'll all be buried with me. If you don't believe me, try it. Fang Ping roared as he fought. "Hurry up! Don't force me. If you push me too far, we'll die together. Before I came in, I've already buried millions of imperishable substances in Combat Heavenly Palace. When the time comes, I'll blow up all of you bastards." Fang Ping scolded. Inside, a muffled sound was heard. In the crowd, Su Bing and the others were livid. Fang Ping actually threatened them like this? He did not intend to negotiate at all. He was extremely tough. If they did not help, then they would die together. Not only would they die, but Earth was already prepared to encircle and annihilate those grandmasters. Did they believe it? They did. After staying in the Heaven Division for a few days, Fang Ping sometimes liked to brag, but there were times when he really did not brag. He said that if he died, he would drag people to be buried with him. This was 100% true. This guy was just so petty. Zhang Tao and the others also valued him very much. If Fang Ping died, here, moreover, the cat was also with Fang Ping. Su Bing gritted his teeth and growled, "Encircle and kill these people. Go help them quickly. A few grandmasters from the Heaven Division were not targeted by the others earlier. At this time, everyone was also gritting their teeth, attacking the others one after another. Chang Shanqi shouted angrily, "Su Bing, what are you doing?" Previously, these grandmasters had already reached a consensus. Now, Su Bing actually betrayed them. Lu Ji also said angrily, "You're actually afraid of a brat." They could not understand. Su Bing and the others were not too weak. They were even ancient figures. Did they need to be afraid of that fellow Fong Ping? Su Bing did not say a word. Did they think he was joking with them? If he died here, it would definitely be chaos. These grandmasters in the Earth Division were still fine, but the grandmasters in the human world might really be surrounded and annihilated. Su Bing and the others felt aggrieved, but at this time, they had no choice but to act. Moreover, Fong Ping could even persuade the remnants of the Earth Emperor God dynasty. Under such circumstances, it was obvious that the others were at a disadvantage. If they did not act now, they might be surrounded and killed by these people later. In the crowd, Wu Chuan slashed a rank 9 powerhouse back with a sword. Without saying a word, he directly rushed into the cultivation room in front of him. In the alternate world, Old Man Li and the others were already at a disadvantage. Their injuries were getting more and more serious. Fong Ping and Di, you were also fighting fiercely. Everyone had heard the commotion outside. Jiang Chao looked surprised. He exclaimed, "Fong Ping, not bad. You've even roped in a great enemy." He did not expect that Fong Ping, Ji Yao, and Huayu had reached an agreement. If there had not been a commotion outside, and these people had rushed in, Fong Ping and the others might have been the first unlucky ones. While Fong Ping was fighting Diyu, he laughed and said, "It's a matter of character. If you have a good character, these are not a problem. I say, let's split the benefits of the Emperor's tomb. Instead of splitting it among many parties, why don't we split it among the 3 of us? What a great thing." After saying that, Fong Ping did not continue talking about this. He looked at the heart and shouted, "Old Wang, can you take this thing? These guys are bent on letting you take it. Don't have any bad intentions." "No, they definitely have bad intentions. That bastard, unquestionable Jian, is playing this game with me. He's too inexperienced. Being old doesn't mean having a high IQ. This game, I'm too familiar with it. Did he really think that I watched movies for nothing?" Fong Ping cursed. He had watched too many things. In this situation, unquestionable Jian was bent on letting Old Wang take a heart. How could he have any good intentions? "Don't take it first. I'll take it later. I don't believe that he can still scheme against me. I'll let Old Cat and Old Zhang take a look later. We'll see if there's any problem. If it was someone else, they might not hand over something like a heart to others." At this moment, Wang Jinyang could already feel the great attraction of the heart toward him. However, Wang Jinyang still suppressed the feeling of losing control. He nodded slightly and did not reply. Ever since the team was established, Fong Ping had always played the role of the leader. Everyone wanted to take treasures, especially this kind of treasure that originally belonged to him. He wanted to take it even more. However, unquestionable Jian might have a scheme. Forget about the possibility of it. Even if he did not, Fong Ping was the leader of this operation. If Fong Ping wanted to distribute his past life's heart, he would not say anything. Some things, let bygones be bygones. Old Wang looked at the heart and muttered in his sleep. Since the heart belonged to the past life, then it belonged to that person in the past life. It did not belong to Wang Jinyang. This was not his heart. This was just a foreign object. Did unquestionable Jian really think that he could not resist this temptation? At this moment, Wang Jinyang suddenly said in a low voice, Hurry up. The heart seems like it's going to come to me of its own accord. Mother asterisk cur. Fong Ping cursed loudly. Anything that came to him would not be good. Are you forcing me to do this? Fong Ping cursed. Suddenly, the golden house appeared and sucked Du inside. Rumble! The golden house exploded. Du was ramming madly inside. It was extremely powerful, causing the golden house to shake continuously. At this time, Wu Chuan also rushed in quickly. Ignoring Fong Ping, he went straight to Old Man Li and the rest. The two of them were fighting against 3 corpses. They were already heavily injured. Wu Chuan quickly joined in, shouting, "Think of something quickly! The emperor corpses are getting stronger and stronger." Fong Ping cursed. What can I do? The heart was still dripping blood. Dripping blood strengthened the emperor corpses. If this went on, the emperor corpses might recover to true god level. Once it reached that level, no matter how many people there were, it would not be enough to kill. Fong Ping glanced at the heart and frowned. What should he do with this thing? The sounds of killing outside were still intense. Even if Ji Yao and Hua Yu's people were attacking, they could not kill all of them quickly. Chang Shan Qi, Devil Swordsman, Li Wuji, the Emperor Blood Tree Clan leader, were all powerhouses. In addition to the Devil Dragon, the youth from Mount Nameless of the Forbidden Sea, and Wang Hanyue, under these people's cooperation, Qi Huanyu and Zhao Xingwu were firmly entangled. Although the two of them were strong rank 9s, they were extremely powerful. But these people could not be underestimated. They were all powerhouses who were stage 9 or even stage 10 origin Dao. Their foundations might be a little weaker, but they were also powerhouses who were about to enter true king level. In this way, with so many people working together, they were not at a disadvantage for a while. Being a wise man is really troublesome. Fong Ping sighed. At this moment, he no longer cared about the golden house and charged toward Li Hansong. The 3 half-crippled emperor corpses had also recovered to rank 9 at this time. Their iron heads were about to explode. Just as Fong Ping was having a headache, the sky-punishing sword above his heart trembled slightly. This tremble made Old Wang's face pale. He said hurriedly, Someone seems to be controlling the sky-punishing sword." Unquestionable sword. Fong Ping's expression was ugly. The situation had already reached this point. He was also having a headache now. If he did not leave, he was afraid that the emperor corpses would recover to true king level. But if he left, did he not want the heart? Also, now that the heart was destroyed, would Old Wang be fatally affected? But now, the sky-punishing sword was controlled by someone. If this continued, he was afraid that something big would happen. He could see that the sky-punishing sword was suppressing the heart and those emperor corpses. Once it was pulled out, he was afraid that there would be huge trouble, just as Fong Ping was having a headache. On the Forbidden Sea, the cat scratched its head with its paws, its cat face a little conflicted. Fang Yuan asked curiously, "Big cat, what's wrong?" "I can't pull it out." Xiao Jian has really gone bad. He seems to know that I'm going to take away the sky-punishing sword. Once I pull it out, something will happen. The cat was just about to take the sky-punishing sword away, but just as it pulled it out, it felt that something was wrong. Not only that, the moment it controlled the sky-punishing sword and pulled it out, there seemed to be some changes in its heart. At least the Emperor's tomb's blood-red color became more intense. A thick wave of blood essence energy shot up to the sky. At this moment, over at Imperial Sea Mountain, several powerful auras rippled. The cat seemed to recognize someone. Scratching its head again, it looked in the direction of Imperial Sea Mountain. The fake human emperor was there. That little fatty was there. That Life King was also there. There was also someone who looked familiar. The cat recalled for a while. Suddenly, its cat face changed. Ah, the heart is useful to his daughter. Xiaojian actually called him here. This is going to be troublesome. It recognized the dragon transformation, celestial emperor. This ancient celestial emperor had existed since the heavenly realm still existed. It had seen him a few times. It was not familiar, but it had a vague impression of him. He was not weak. When the vitality shot up to the sky just now, the other party seemed to have sensed something and vaguely wanted to cross over Imperial Sea Mountain. The cat's cat face was also conflicted. How annoying! Taking away the sword would be the end of it. It did not need to care about anything else. Perhaps that was what Xiaojian was thinking. Once it kept the sword, this matter would be completely out of control. However, the cat suddenly said angrily, "Humph, I'm really angry now." The cat's face was serious, extremely annoyed. After some thought, it looked at Feng Yuan and said, "Scratch me first. Let me think." Feng Yuan was speechless. Big Cat was here again. What time was this? However, seeing that the cat was thinking of a solution, Feng Yuan still scratched it obediently. What should I do? This is so annoying. I want to eat cat food. If I don't pull out the sword, those corpses will become stronger and stronger. If I pull out the sword, the heart will enter the blood-red guy's body. Then those people will kill him, and then there will be a big battle. The cat suddenly became very smart at this moment. If the sword was pulled out, the heart would enter Wang Jinyang's body. For a treasure like the heart, not to mention others, the dragon transformation celestial emperor would definitely kill for the heart for his daughter. If that happened, the two ancient venerable emperors would definitely fight to the death. In the end, it might even lead to more killing. The great chaos was coming. The cat scratched its whiskers with its claws. After a while, it suddenly muttered to itself, "Why don't I just poke it, poke it? Each person will suck a little. So disgusting. But I'm not the one sucking blood. Each person will suck a little. Once it's gone, everything will be fine. But if I poke at that blood-red guy, won't be able to recover his strength." The cat struggled for a while, thought about it, and took out the divine peeking mirror. After muttering for a while, the divine peeking mirror shone directly into Combat Heavenly Palace. The cat fiddled with it for a while, aiming it in the direction of the cultivation room. Soon, a clear image appeared on the screen. Just as the cat was about to speak, the surface of the mirror suddenly rippled, and the image shattered. "I'm really angry." The cat stood up on its hind legs, raised its middle paw, and pointed at someone. It said angrily, "I'm so angry. Bad sword. You won't let me see it, but I want to see it, and I want to talk." As it spoke, it suddenly fell asleep. "Humph, I'm strong. I can talk without the divine peeking mirror, and I can talk to the liar." The cat fell asleep immediately. Feng Yuan and the Jiao were dumbfounded. In the cultivation room, Feng Ping was in a trance, as if he saw something. "Cat world? What the hell? I'm still fighting. Why am I thinking about cat world now? What the hell is this? Liar. Liar. Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone." Feng Ping was dumbfounded. Was he hearing things? Was he hallucinating? Was the cat asking him to pick up the phone? Chapter 907. Brother Cat. In the cat world, Feng Ping's projection entered and asked doubtfully. It seemed to be the cat world that he entered last time. He even saw the familiar fish-headed monster. Ah, liar, it's connected. The cat's plump body rolled over, a little excited. This was also its first time trying to make a call in the cat world, and it really connected. Liar. Feng Ping was now sure that he had really met the cat in the source space. He was both surprised and happy. The living antique was here. He was anxious before, a little regretful that the cat was not here. The problem he encountered now was very difficult to solve. Although the cat was not very reliable, it knew a lot. Sometimes a few words could solve his big problems. Fong Ping could not care less about being polite and said hurriedly, "Brother Cat, listen to me first. Liar, listen to me first. Brother Cat, I have an urgent matter." "I have one too." Fong Ping looked helpless. "I have an urgent matter. What is the cat doing?" "I am still fighting with people. Those emperor corpses are getting stronger and stronger. If I don't solve it soon, it will be troublesome." Fortunately, the cat's next words made him quiet down. "Liar, I can't pull out the sky punishing sword. If I pull it out now, something bad will happen." As soon as the cat said this, Fong Ping realized something. The cat probably knew what happened here. "Brother Cat, make a long story short. Tell me the solution." "Oh, it's like this. If that blood-red guy takes that heart back, he can find a part of his previous life's power. He was very strong in his previous life. The power of his heart was very strong. If he takes it back, he can probably become an emperor. That's scary." The cat added, indicating that Old Wong was really strong. The heart was only a part of Old Wong's previous life's organ, although it was extremely important to Old Wong. However, a single heart was enough to make someone become an emperor. It was also extremely terrifying. But if he takes the heart back, he will go crazy. There's something wrong with that heart, but if he doesn't take the heart back, you will die too. There's no other way now. The cat sighed. "I've thought about it for a long time. I can only pierce the heart. If each of you suck a little blood, you will also go crazy for a while. But there are many of you won't suck too much, so you won't go too crazy. After fighting, you will be fine. Liar, do you want to expose him? But once it's pierced, it'll be gone. That blood-red fellow won't be able to recover his emperor-class power." "Crazy?" Fong Ping asked in a low voice. "If Old Wong collects the heart, will he go completely crazy?" "I don't know. Anyway, I'll go crazy. I don't know if I can recover in the future," the cat added, "but he's crazy now. You're in danger. He'll stab you to death." "Understood. Can I take it with me?" Fong Ping found it hard to decide. This matter was really hard to decide. Becoming a martial emperor, Lao Wang could directly become an emperor. If Shao Chun brought the heart back and absorbed it, he would actually be able to advance to martial emperor. One could easily imagine how tempting this was. Were there many emperor-ranked rankers? It wasn't a small number, but it was a large number, apart from those old antiques, including the catacombs. Had there been 5 emperor-level existences born in 1,000 years, there shouldn't be any, one every few hundred years. Now, Lao Wang had this opportunity. It was too rare. The cat shook its big head and said, "No way. If he didn't expose it, something bad would happen. You can't take him away. There are still many people waiting outside." The heart could not be taken away. There were only 2 choices. One was to let Lao Wang absorb it now, and the other was to expose it and let everyone absorb it together. If they brought it out, the heart would still be alive. Its vitality would surge. Who would not be tempted by those powerhouses? The heart of a top-notch powerhouse contained too many things. Then after we expose it, do we suck the blood directly? Yes. How many people can absorb it? The cat tilted its head and thought for a while, then said, 6 or 7. After all, it's a very powerful person's heart. However, some of its power must have dissipated. 6 or 7, Fong Ping muttered, then quickly asked again, "Let me ask another question. If I absorb a part of it, can I enter the 9th refinement of the golden body?" At this point, he could only choose to maximize the benefits. When he reached the 9th refinement of the golden body, his combat strength would increase greatly. When that time came, He would not need to be as cautious as he was now. Ninth refinement of the golden body. The ninth refinement of the golden body is very powerful. Your mentality is not enough. I have the Xian Ming divine pill. Oh, let's give it a try then. The cat said casually, then said, about that, it's best to give some to that little girl. Her father is very powerful. She wants to save her now, but you guys don't give it to her. When you guys come out, he'll poke you to death to feed his daughter. Little girl. Fong Ping thought for a while before saying, the dragon transformation, Heavenly Emperor, Wang Ruobing? It's him, right? I don't remember his name. He's lived for a very, very long time. I've seen him a long time ago. I think he even went to the heavenly realm to ask for medicine. The dragon transformation, Heavenly Emperor. That was really too old. When the cat was still young, it seemed like it had seen him before. Strictly speaking, he might be from the same era as Big Black Face and the rest. Fong Ping frowned and said quickly, I know. Is there anything else I need to pay attention to? Crazy. How will he go crazy? He'll go crazy. But don't worry, just a fight will be over. If the heart is poked, it won't be as powerful as before. The cat said, then said, I forgot to mention, if the heart is poked, those corpses have to be beaten to death because no one can control them. If they're not beaten to death, they're still very strong. Although they're not as strong as real Emperor ranks, they still have Emperor rank combat strength. In other words, if the heart was poked, there might be a few Emperor rank combat strength less at once. Liar, if you want to poke it, you can call me. I'll use the Sky Destroyer sword to poke your heart. Got it. Thank you for your help, Brother Cat. Fong Ping hurriedly thanked it. The cat's words made the situation clear in an instant. Otherwise, Fong Ping would have a headache now. Very soon, Fong Ping exited the cat world. Time passed quickly. It sounded like a long time, but that was the origin space. In fact, time was very short. At this moment, Fong Ping was still teaming up with Iron Head and the rest to deal with the 3 mutilated Emperor corpses. These Emperor corpses were getting stronger and stronger. Diyu was still attacking the Golden House, which also diverted a lot of Fong Ping's attention. Fong Ping could not care too much. He said hurriedly, Old Wang, can you hear me? Yes. Lao Wang gave a brief reply. Jiang Chaozheng supported Old Wang and avoided the battle circle, hiding at the side. 2 choices. First, you take back your heart. Your combat strength will surge, and all troubles can be solved. But you might go crazy and kill us. Second choice. Fong Ping laughed. Are you sure you can become an Emperor rank? Is Heavenly Emperor Zhan strong? Old Wang's eyes suddenly became clear. He stood up too, his back hunched. Heavenly Emperor Zhan is dead. Whether it was my past life or not, a dead person is not worth caring about. As an emperor, he can't reverse everything. As an emperor, it's the same for me. If that's the case, then there's no need to care about these. If becoming an emperor could really solve all troubles, then perhaps he would make this choice. But obviously not. Then there was no need to care about it. He was him. Heavenly Emperor Zhan was Heavenly Emperor Zhan. The power brought by a heart was ultimately not his own power. There was no need to feel regret. Ha ha ha. All right, then I'll choose the second choice. Poke the heart. As soon as he said that, the Golden House suddenly erupted. In the house, Diyu's mentality roared. No, once the heart is broken, this person will definitely die. At the same time, at the entrance to the alternate world, the Imperial Blood Tree Clan leader was also bathed in blood. As if it had heard this, its mentality also roared, absolutely not. Once the heart is broken, the Emperor's tomb will be destroyed. Everyone will die. It had already rushed here, and the others were also nearby. At this moment, everyone was looking at the blood-red heart. Some looked greedy, some looked shocked. A heart. There was actually a living heart here. Its vitality force was vast and boundless. Fong Ping did not care. He looked at the crowd, especially Qi Huanyu and the rest, and smiled faintly. Want to take the heart? Sure, come, I'll give it to you. You can try. Try switching to this heart and see if you'll die. You're exaggerating. Right at this moment, the Grandmaster Lu Ji shouted, Everyone, this is the most precious treasure in this place. This might be an emperor's heart. Its power is incomparably vast. Even if we don't switch hearts, comprehending this might be enough to help us become emperors. Lu Ji's roar made even Ji Yao and Huayu look at the heart with a strange expression. This was an emperor's heart. They did not know how powerful an emperor was, but they did feel the vast power. When a heart beat, all of them seemed to be attracted, their hearts beating along with it. It was so powerful that even Ji Yao did not feel it when she was by Life King's side. In the crowd, Wang Ruobing clutched her chest and looked at the heart, a little strange. Was this the treasure that could save her? Heart, a human heart. Wang Hanyue seemed to sense something and hurriedly looked at Wang Ruobing. Wang Ruobing shook her head, slightly, a calm smile on her face. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. But Wang Hanyue understood. I won't switch hearts. She only wanted to live as herself. Be it in the past or present, there would always be some people who had some persistence, some stubbornness, even if it seemed silly. The moment she saw the heart, Wang Ruobing realized what the treasure that could save her this time was. It was this. Everyone's eyes were red. Wu Chuan and the other two were injured by the emperor corpses. Tai Tu could not hold on any longer. At the entrance, the group of people fighting slowed down. Huayu and Ji Yao's eyes were flickering. This thing seemed better than the emperor corpses. Fong Ping's current strength was only average. Why did they let Fong Ping have it? Qi Huanyu, Zhao Xingwu, Wang Hanyue, Chang Shanqi, Devil Swordsman, Li Wuji, Emperor Blood Tree Clan leader, Demon Dragon, the Forbidden Sea Nameless Mountain Youth, and Lu Ji. These 10 people were the strongest in this place. The others, like Su Bing and the rest, were not considered the strongest here. On Fong Ping's side, only Wu Chuan had this kind of combat strength. If that was the case, why did they let Fong Ping have it? At this moment, many people were thinking the same thing. Fong Ping exhaled softly and said, Everyone, this heart is not yours. It's not yours either. Someone shouted in a low voice. Fong Ping smiled and said, Am I not the reincarnation of the Devil Emperor, unquestionable sword? Then this thing is naturally mine. Fong Ping smiled playfully and said suddenly, Of course, everything depends on strength. Don't force me. I've actually recovered some of my memories. If you push me too far, I won't go easy on you. As he said that, Fong Ping suddenly looked at the Emperor Blood Tree Clan leader, then at Devil Swordsman, and said coldly, Do you still recognize me as your master? Everyone was silent before Fong Ping said that. Some people really suspected that he was the reincarnation of Unquestionable Sword. Now that he said it, however, no one believed it. The Emperor Blood Tree Clan leader's mentality fluctuated. You're not the master. You want to betray me? Fong Ping smiled and said, Now that things have come to this, I, Fong Ping, am not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of people knowing that I'm the Devil Emperor. The sky-punishing sword is mine. The sky-punishing sword is here. Don't force me to use the sky-punishing sword to kill you. As soon as he said that, only then did everyone notice the sky-punishing sword stuck in his heart. Once again, some people were envious. The Emperor Bloodtree clan leader was a little confused. Master? Was it true? The sky-punishing sword was indeed the master's item. If Fong Ping could really control the sky-punishing sword, it could only mean two things. If Unquestionable Sword was dead, Fong Ping would have refined the sky-punishing sword. Secondly, Fong Ping was Unquestionable Sword. However, when Fong Ping came here, the sky-punishing sword was still stuck in his heart. He probably did not have the time to refine it. They also did not believe that Unquestionable Sword was really dead. The Emperor Bloodtree clan leader's mentality fluctuated violently. Very soon, he looked toward the Golden House. Diyu was still trapped. Let Diyu go first. Fong Ping laughed. He did not say much. With a casual toss, Diyu fell out of the Golden House. Fong Ping looked at everyone again and sighed. Now that things have come to this, make your choice. Ji Yao, Huayu, do you really want to go against me and fall out with me? Su Bing, what about you guys? Or are you demons going to betray me or continue to be loyal? The Emperor Bloodtree clan leader's mentality was heavy. If you're really the master, the Emperor Blood clan will naturally die for the master. The Emperor Bloodtree clan had guarded the Emperor's tomb for 1,000 years just to be loyal to Unquestionable Sword. If the master was really resurrected, naturally, they would continue to be loyal. However, Fong Ping was Unquestionable Sword. They were not the only ones who were puzzled. Right now, the others also stopped moving, not daring to act rashly. This place was Unquestionable Sword's lair. If Fong Ping was really Unquestionable Sword, perhaps he had some special means. Some grandmasters even knew that there was a final kill formation here. Even Emperor-level powerhouses did not dare to enter recklessly. If that was the case, then they could not act rashly at this moment. Ji Yao looked at Fong Ping and said slowly, "Your Unquestionable Sword? Fong Ping, the others might believe you, but I don't. I didn't ask you to believe me." Fong Ping smiled. "I'm only asking you, what's your choice? Help me get rid of these disobedient fellows now. I'll do whatever I promised." While talking to Ji Yao, Fong Ping quickly called out to the cat in his mind. "Brother Cat! Brother Cat!" After calling for a while, there was no response. Fong Ping was getting anxious. At this moment, the cat suddenly popped up, saying unhappily, "You didn't say you'd pick up the phone. I asked you to make the call. You're calling the wrong person." Fong Ping almost vomited blood. "You're still playing at this time? Brother Cat, can you control the sky-punishing sword to help me kill people?" "No." The cat rejected it happily. "I don't fight." Fong Ping realized this too. He said, "You won't kill people. Control the sky-punishing sword and help me put on a show. Scare people, but don't kill people. How about that?" "Is that so?" The cat thought for a while and said, "All right, but this time there's a fee." Little Chubby Face said that there's a fee for brushing his fur. All work has to be paid, so you have to pay too. Fong Ping felt like dying. He said quickly, "All right, what do you want? 1 million? No, 10 million. No, that's not right either. What's after 10 million? I want that." Fong Ping thought that the fee was referring to the cat food. Only now did he know that he really wanted money. He felt extremely helpless and said quickly, "No problem, 100 million. 100 million can help you buy tens of warehouses of cat food for Brother Cat." The cat was secretly delighted. The scammer had really paid. He had profited. Earning money was very easy. Did they not say on TV that a person only earned a few thousand a month? That would be tens of thousands a year. The cat wanted to count how many years it would take to earn 100 million. It was tiring to calculate, so the cat was too lazy to do it. In any case, he had earned a lot this time. "All right then, tell me, What should I do? As the man and the cat conversed. Fong Ping quickly looked at the crowd at the entrance and said in a low voice, "It seems like the demons in Emperor's Tomb have really rebelled. My memory hasn't fully recovered. That's right, I'm not considered the complete, unquestionable sword. It's normal that you don't listen. It's been almost 1,000 years. How many humans and demons still have such loyalty?" At this moment, DU's mentality was fluctuating violently. "You're lying. You're not Master. Master is still alive. The sky-crushing sword moved just now." Fong Ping said, lightly, "That was done by me. What do you think?" "You're lying." DU's emotions fluctuated violently. How could this person be Master? The Imperial Blood Tree Clan leader interrupted him and said telepathically, "You said you're Master. If you can really control the sky-crushing sword, then the Imperial Blood Clan will definitely obey Master." No one thought of the cat. Not many people knew that the cat had lent the sky-crushing sword to the unquestionable sword. At that level, it was not something that the people present could know. Everyone only knew that the sky-crushing sword was the divine weapon of the unquestionable sword. He had also relied on this divine weapon to make a name for himself in the three realms. Now, you've actually fallen to the point where you have to prove yourself in front of a bunch of servants. I vaguely remember. Back then, I didn't even treat you as servants. You were just some trees. But today, you've fallen to this extent. Fong Ping sighed. Without another word, he pointed with his finger. The sky-crushing sword suddenly trembled. Carrying the heart, it shot out violently, heading straight for the Imperial Blood Tree Clan leader. The Imperial Blood Tree Clan leader's mentality was fluctuating at this moment, causing the void to tremble. Fong Ping ignored it. He pointed at DU, and the sky-crushing sword flew toward DU again. At this moment, Qi Huanyu grabbed the sky-crushing sword and the heart. Fong Ping frowned and snorted coldly. The sky-crushing sword suddenly shot toward Ji Yao. Qi Huanyu frowned. He moved and appeared in front of Ji Yao, reaching out to grab the sky-crushing sword again. At this moment, the Imperial Blood Tree Clan leader suddenly whipped a long branch at Qi Huanyu. Beside him, Devil Swordsman's sword Qi also shot toward Qi Huanyu abruptly. "How dare you?" The Imperial Blood Tree Clan leader flew into a rage. With a wave of mentality, he said quickly, "Master, the Imperial Blood will never betray Master. Master, you're back." At this moment, the tree seemed to be a little happy and choked up. Master was back. Master was really back. The sky-crushing sword moved. Not only did it move, but it also moved according to Fong Ping's will. Only the owner of the sky-crushing sword could do this. Fong Ping let out a deep sigh. With indescribable sorrow, he looked at the crowd and said, "Don't force me. If you still want to recognize me as your master, then kill them all. Ji Yao, why you don't force me to use my last resort. If you kill Li Wuji and the rest now, I can pretend that nothing happened. I'll still do what I promised." After saying that, Fong Ping looked at Wang Hanyue and sighed softly. "Trust me, leave Wang Ruobing here. I'll save her life on account of her fate with iron head. However, I need peace now. You guys need to help me solve this problem." Wang Hanyue's gaze was uncertain. Wang Ruobing shook her head. "I won't change my heart." "Change your heart? You're thinking too much. I have my own methods." Fong Ping looked at Wang Hanyue and said lightly, "One last chance. Wang Hanyue, if you're not willing, you can take it by force." Wang Hanyue struggled for a while. Then, without a word, she suddenly charged toward Chang Shanqi. Chang Shanqi said furiously, "You guys are crazy. Do you guys believe him just because he says he's a demon emperor? Even if he is, He's still the common enemy of all emperors. Damn it, are you guys crazy? Whether Fang Ping was the unquestionable sword or not, he was everyone's enemy. Now, these people were actually so crazy that they attacked them. Wang Hanyue snorted coldly and said in a low voice, "Junior sister, you stay here. Fang Ping, if anything happens to junior sister, Master won't let you guys go. Master's end is near, and he has no more scruples. Don't force Master to fight to the death with you. If you cure junior sister, I, Dragon Transformation Brahma Duqian, will definitely remember this favor." After saying that, everyone was already charging toward the outside. Zhao Xingwu suddenly laughed. He did not care about those people, slashing at an emperor corpse with a saber, and said with a smile, "This emperor corpse belongs to me." Having said that, the Changdao guided, bringing the emperor corpse and dashing out rapidly. Devil Swordsman, the Emperor Blood Tree clan leader, Du, and a rank 9 Emperor Blood Tree that was still alive attacked one after another, forcing everyone to fight outside. At this moment, there were only 5 Emperor corpses left in this place, 3 of which were broken. Fang Ping did not move all the way until these people fought out of the alternate world one after another. Then, he quickly transmitted his voice. "Senior Brother Wu, stop fighting. Go and guard the entrance. No one is allowed to come in." Wu Chuan did not say a word, rushing toward the entrance quickly. With 1 emperor corpse taken away, the pressure on them was much less. Old Man Li and Tian Mu could barely hold on for a while. Fang Ping did not say much either. He quickly said in his mind, "Brother Cat, that's enough. Then you guys hurry up and absorb. Without the heart, the Emperor's tomb is going to shatter." "Understood." Fang Ping did not say much either. As his voice fell, Wang Jinyang suddenly let out a blood-curdling scream. His heart was pierced by the Sky Destroyer sword. Fang Ping's heart tightened. The cat also said quickly, "It's okay. He's resurrected. It's not him anymore. His heart is shattered. It's just a little painful. No, it hurts. Meow, it hurts." The cat could not bear it anymore. It hurts so much. It almost forgot about this. Would this blood-red fellow die from the pain? Would that swindler return the 100 million he promised to this cat? Following its words, the entire alternate space instantly became viscous. A wave of vitality force so thick that it seemed to have turned into a substance suddenly emerged from the heart. "Old Wang, let's absorb first." Fang Ping growled, rushing toward the heart quickly. At this moment, he could not care less about the disgust. He began to absorb wildly toward the heart. The moment that wave of vitality force rushed into his body, Fang Ping suddenly felt like he was a balloon about to burst. Too scary. The quality was too high. Strictly speaking, the quality of vitality force was far inferior to the destructive force. However, at this moment, it seemed to be on par with the destructive force. No, perhaps it was of a higher grade. An improvement in quality. Fang Ping's gaze changed. Was this the vitality force of old Wang's past life? "Come quickly." Fang Ping roared again. His mentality guided old Wang and the others directly into the golden house. He also covered the heart in the golden house. This way, the power leakage would be smaller. As soon as old Wang entered, the vitality force automatically integrated into his body. In the blink of an eye, old Wang became a bloody man, wrapped in a blood cocoon. His speed was faster than Fang Ping's. Jiang Chao and Jiang Hao were also covered. As soon as Jiang Chao took a breath, he yelled and began to cultivate while sitting cross-legged. Too much. The energy leakage from the heart was terrifying. Chapter 908. Such rich, powerful vitality force. Fang Ping's golden body expanded, his torso expanding as he growled in a low voice. He glanced at the data. His vitality upper limit was soaring at a speed visible to the naked eye. Glancing at the data, he saw that his maximum HP was rising at a speed visible to the naked eye. Fang Ping glanced at the data. His vitality upper limit was soaring at a speed visible to the naked eye. Before this, Fang Ping was still quite a distance away from peak 8th refinement. Now, however, he had reached this number at an extreme speed. 140,000 calories vitality. At this time, Fang Ping felt a bottleneck, an extremely huge bottleneck. This was the first time he felt the existence of a bottleneck, so clearly he could not improve anymore. Wealth, for billion, 10 million points vitality, 140,000 calories, 140,000 calories, mentality, 8,999 hertz, 8,999 hertz, destruction power, 66 yuan, storage space, 10,000 cubic meters plus, energy shield, 1 point/minute plus, aura simulation, 10 points/minute plus, origin detailed analysis, 10-100 million points/to me. A lot of wealth was consumed. He had used up a lot of it previously, condensed it into imperishable substance, and threw it to Huayu, in addition to the 500 million spent watching the cat's world last time, and the call this time. His wealth was now only 4 billion. Fang Ping did not care about his wealth. His vitality and mentality had reached a limit. He had reached the limit and could not improve anymore. Jiang Chao and the others were faster. In the blink of an eye, Jiang Hao finished honing the last part of his skull and entered rank 8 directly. Not only did this guy enter rank 8, but he was also continuing to hone his golden body. It looked like there was hope for him to hone his golden body a few more times. Fang Ping glanced at them and did not pay much attention. These people did not consume much. The cat said that it could only be absorbed by 6 or 7 people. It was probably referring to Fang Ping's level. These two were not included. The two of them absorbed little, but Old Wang's absorption speed was extremely fast. There was almost no bottleneck. Fang Ping did not see him forge his golden body, but Old Wang's aura was still soaring. I'm at a bottleneck. Fang Ping frowned. He was still absorbing the heart's energy, but the data did not change. Is the Xianming Divine Pill useful? Fang Ping did not know whether it was the mentality shackles or the flesh shackles. After some thought, he no longer hesitated. He took out the Xianming Divine Pill and swallowed it. The moment he swallowed the pill, Fang Ping's mind was a little dazed. The vitality force that was draining from his heart was getting thicker and thicker. It was starting to impact Fang Ping's golden body. The golden body alternated between red and gold. Kacha! It was as if something had broken. Fang Ping let out a low growl, his eyes suddenly becoming extremely clear. His mentality had broken through. In that instant, his mentality reached 9,000 hertz. When his mentality reached 9,000 hertz, Fang Ping's golden body began to tremble, but he still could not break through the 140,000 barrier. His mentality continued to increase. 9,100 hertz, 9,200 hertz. Then, to Fang Ping's surprise, his mentality began to fade. 900 hertz, 9,200 hertz. Meanwhile, his golden body seemed to have fused with a new energy. This was the effect of the divine elixir. The divine elixir was balancing the difference between his physical body and spiritual energy. Kacha! The golden body was still trembling, and there were signs of cracks, but it was still unable to break through the barrier. Fang Ping was inexplicably shocked. Was the 9th refinement really that difficult? Lao Wang's heart was shockingly powerful, but even this couldn't help him break through. If he didn't have this opportunity, would he really have any hope of reaching the 9th refinement? Even now, he didn't see any hope of reaching the 9th refinement. The golden body became even more compact. shatter, forge, shatter, forge. Again and again and again and again, cracks appeared. Fong Ping could feel his own weight increasing rapidly. 20,000 caddies, 25,000 caddies, 10,000 caddies. He felt his bones, flesh, and blood becoming more compact. They were both 140,000 calories vitality, but it seemed to be more powerful. Why do I feel like I'm heading toward the extreme path? Fong Ping's face was full of shock. Only a powerhouse of the extreme path could achieve a vitality that was much stronger than that of ordinary martial artists. He seemed to have this trend now. Even his vitality force had become much more viscous. Could it be that the 9th refinement of the golden body had such an effect? The 9th refinement of the golden body. This is actually the extreme path. Fong Ping suddenly had some understanding. The 9th refinement was the extreme path of the physical body. It was extremely similar to the unification of myriad Tao. Or rather, this was a different kind of unification of myriad Tao. Since ancient times, it seemed that only powerhouses who had the unification of myriad Tao had achieved the 9th refinement of the golden body. These two were actually equivalent. No one else could do it at all. Could it be that at the 9th refinement my vitality force can also be like Old Man Li, using one card as 2 cards? Fong Ping was a little excited. This was what he had been dreaming of. Although the destructive force was also very strong, the origin path did not enhance the destructive force. When he had reached rank 9, if Fong Ping still used the destructive force to fight, then he would have walked the origin path in vain. Vitality force and mentality force. These two were the foundation of a martial artist. The origin Tao could amplify these kinds of powers. Therefore, when he had reached the impasse, it was really somewhat returning to the basics, using these basic energies to fight. As for the imperishable substance, it was also really used to forge the physical body and heal injuries. At rank 8, the destructive force was strong. At rank 9, on the contrary, there were fewer who used the destructive force. Of course, the origin path did not go far. The destructive force was definitely stronger than the vitality force. The cracks on the golden body were repaired again and again, but Fong Ping only felt the quality of his vitality increase. He did not feel the transformation of the golden body's essence. Could it be that the 9th refinement is actually a process? When my vitality force has been forged to be comparable to the unification of myriad Tao. In fact, I have already achieved the 9th refinement of the golden body. In that case, it should be easier for Old Man Li to enter the 9th refinement than me. At this moment, Fong Ping really understood. It might not be difficult for Old Man Li to enter the 9th refinement. He would not have any improvement in the quality of his vitality. His golden body was different from his own. He only forged the golden body and increased his vitality capacity. As for martial artists like Fong Ping, if he wanted to achieve the 9th refinement, he would have to experience the improvement in the quality of his vitality first. Just as Fong Ping was thinking about these, Jiang Chao let out a low growl. Then, wild with joy, he roared, "I'm rank 8 now." At this moment, in the alternate world, a chubby golden silhouette appeared. When Jiang Hao broke through earlier, the same situation happened. However, the projection was actually the extent of the overflow of energy. Jiang Hao did not overflow much. On the other hand, Jiang Chao, this fellow's control of energy, was pitifully low. Right now, he overflowed a lot. The golden silhouette was extremely huge. Jiang Chao, however, did not care about this. He laughed maniacally. Rank 8. He would also achieve rank 8 one day. Then, Jiang Chao's expression changed drastically. He could not take it anymore. He could not absorb too much energy. Without staying any longer, Jiang Chao roared and rushed out of the golden house. As soon as he left, Jiang Hao's golden body flickered. Then, with some regret, he got up and left. He could not take it anymore. Relying on the heart's energy, he achieved rank 8's second refinement golden body. But now, he could not absorb anymore. As soon as the two of them went out, their eyes were a little red. Without a word, they rushed toward Iron Head. At this moment, Iron Head and Yao Qingjun were resisting the 3 broken emperor corpses. At this moment, the two of them rushed over quickly. They were incomparably crazy, attacking one of the emperor corpses. Even the usually timid Jiang Chao was red-eyed now. He roared continuously, waving his fists and hammering the emperor corpses. Brutal! Crazy! When Fang Ping, who was still cultivating, saw this scene, his expression changed slightly. A coward like Jiang Chao actually dared to do this. There was something wrong with the heart's energy. Fatty Jiang did not like to fight at all. But at this moment, he was so bold and fierce. If it was someone else, would it not be even scarier? For example, Jiang Hao, this fellow was much crazier than Jiang Chao. Holding his sword, he rushed toward the emperor corpses. He had no intention of defending at all. He was shouting kill, extremely brutal. At this moment, Fang Ping was still feeling the transformation of his energy. Seeing this, he shouted, "Old Yao, you first." Yao Qingjun shouted, "Let Iron Head go." Li Hansong laughed heartily. "I'm leaving. Can you hold on? Hurry up, don't waste time." Hearing that, Yao Qingjun did not waste any more time and rushed straight to the golden house. As soon as he entered, he started absorbing energy madly, forging his golden body and mentality. This kind of vitality force would not only improve his physique, but his mentality would also be enhanced. In the blink of an eye, Yao Qingjun's golden body made a crisp click. He had completed the second refinement. He had not entered rank 8 for long, but at this moment, he had completed the second refinement of his golden body in the blink of an eye. Yao Qingjun seemed to have extra energy to continue absorbing. At this moment, the heart's energy was divided into 3 channels. Old Wang's side and Fang Ping's side were almost the same. The connected energy channel was as thick as a chopstick. As for Yao Qingjun, it was only as thick as a strand of hair. The Jiang brothers just now were slightly weaker than this. Yao Qingjun's mentality fluctuated. After absorbing for a while, his golden body flickered again. Rank 8 third refinement. Seeing that he seemed like he was about to leave, Fang Ping shouted, "You can still hold on for a while. Complete the 3rd refinement and enter the 4th refinement. 4th refinement golden body will be considered late stage rank 8. Hearing that, Yao Qingjun did not say anything more and continued to stay. Meanwhile, outside, Iron Head was being hit continuously. At this moment, he was wearing divine armor. His defense was also extremely strong. Meanwhile, Wang Ruobing, who had been silent all this while, suddenly said, "Uncle Armor, your beautiful armor can condense a pair of gloves. It's not something that was added later." Li Hansong's armor had no weapons. Previously, Li Hansong had melted an ancient divine weapon and forged a pair of gloves. Right now, he was wearing it outside his armor. Hearing that, he asked in surprise, "I have gloves." "Yes, the last time I saw it, you did." Li Hansong was helpless. Did he? However, he really did not feel it now. Perhaps his strength was not enough and he could not condense it. Fang Ping could not care about Li Hansong anymore. Li Hansong could not leave. Fang Ping glanced around and looked at Wang Ruobing, frowning slightly. Should he let this woman in? The cat said that her father was extremely powerful, If he could not cure this woman, he might kill them and take their blood. Fang Ping thought for a while and said, "Wang Ruobing, come in." Wang Ruobing took a look at the blood-red heart and shook her head. Seeing that, Fang Ping cursed. "Pretentious! I won't give this to normal people. If the cat did not ask, I wouldn't care who your parents are." Fang Ping could not be bothered to talk nonsense. He stretched out his hand and grabbed it, shouting, "If you don't come in, I'll kill your father later." After a moment of silence, Wang Ruobing was grabbed inside. As soon as she was grabbed inside, Fang Ping regretted it. As soon as this woman entered, she was like a bottomless pit. Her absorption speed was faster than old Wang and him. In the blink of an eye, the energy flowing out of the heart was absorbed immeasurably. What the hell? In the blink of an eye, the energy absorbed was enough for a person to forge a golden body. However, this woman did not seem to have any reaction. She stared at the heart with widened eyes. Large amounts of energy continued to flow into her body. Fang Ping took a look at the heart. After a while, it seemed to have shrunk a little. He had not forged a 9th-grade golden body yet. Old Wang was also absorbing. Together with Wang Ruobing, who was a big energy eater, Fang Ping was getting anxious. The situation outside seemed to be getting worse. At this moment, Wu Chuan quickly transmitted his voice. The Emperor Blood Tree seems to be unable to hold on any longer. That fellow Qi Huanyu is attacking wildly. He wants to snatch the heart. At this moment, Wu Chuan had already deduced that Qi Huanyu was probably going to turn his back on their previous cooperation. The moment he saw the heart, Qi Huanyu seemed to have discovered something. He felt that the heart could help him break through the realm. At this moment, even if Ji Yao was still willing to cooperate with Fang Ping, Qi Huanyu would not agree to it. Qi Huanyu was extremely powerful. At this moment, he was fighting a few monster plants alone, but the monster plants were still retreating. If this went on, they would not be able to hold on. Fang Ping took a deep breath and said suddenly, "Brother Tian, you're fighting 1 against 2. Can you hold on for a while? Lure them to Brother Wu's side and let Teacher Li in. He should be able to achieve 9th grade rank. 8 quickly. Right now, old man Li should be able to improve the fastest. When he entered 9th grade, there was no change in the quality of his vitality, but it could increase the upper limit of his vitality. This way, his vitality would be stronger, and he would be able to unleash greater strength later." Fang Ping could see that among those present today, the others could not be relied on. He was the only one who could. Tianmu shouted, "No problem. Changsheng, go." Old man Li did not hesitate either. With a slash of his sword, he pushed back the emperor corpses, leaped into the air, and entered the golden house directly. Then he opened his mouth wide and took a deep breath. A large amount of vitality energy was absorbed by him. The red vitality force covered his entire body. Good. This energy is suitable for me. It's better than the imperishable substance. Old man Li laughed loudly. This vitality force was suitable for his myriad Tao unification. Right now, the blood-red color was trembling nonstop. Old man Li let out a low roar, and his body began to expand. At this moment, Yao Chengjuan's golden body flickered again. Golden body 4th grade. Without saying a word, Yao Chengjuan's golden body 4th grade arrived. He charged out quickly with his spear in hand. He was also incomparably crazy, but he managed to maintain his composure. He shouted in a low voice, "Ironhead, you go." He was more rational than the Jiang brothers. The Jiang brothers had gone completely crazy at this moment. Even though their golden bodies were shattered, they were still fighting to the death with the emperor corpses. However, As the heart energy was absorbed by Fang Ping and the rest, the Emperor Corpse's strength stopped increasing, maintaining their original level. Li Hansong did not say much. Instead, he put the divine armor on Yao Qingjun, leaped up, and entered the golden house. This fellow entered, took a look at the heart, and lamented, "Old Wang's heart is so strong. I wonder if he can find my heart." Fang Ping rolled his eyes. He could not be bothered with him, and continued to pay attention to his own situation. His vitality force was getting thicker. It was probably 15 times stronger than a normal rank. 8 martial artist vitality. 140,000 calories vitality could be regarded as 210,000 calories. However, Fang Ping was still frowning. This consumption was too terrifying. The heart had already shrunk by more than a third, and it was still not completed. It seemed that this time it might not be able to support everyone's advancement. At this moment, Ironhead entered. However, Wu Chuan and Tianmu were still outside, whereas he, Old Wang, and Wang Ruobing were all exhausting extremely quickly. Perhaps after a while, the heart would completely collapse. Just as the people inside were fighting and leveling up outside, the bedroom, despite the countless powerhouses and the intense aftershocks of the battle, the bedroom was still intact and undamaged. At this moment, Qi Huanyu bellowed, "Make way! My martial arts path has been severed. This is my only chance. If you don't make way, the grudge of my broken path will be irreconcilable." Previously, the Emperor's corpse, the sky-crushing sword, he could say that he cared about these things, but he could also say that he did not care. He could not use them. Even the Emperor's corpse might not be of use to him. However, the moment he saw the heart, he felt that he might be able to use it. He might be able to borrow the strength of the heart to forcefully break through the barrier. After piercing the Emperor Blood Tree Clan leader with a spear, Qi Huanyu's expression was cold and fierce. He bellowed, "You forced me to kill all of you." As soon as he finished speaking, Qi Huanyu let out a roar. At this moment, the long spear suddenly manifested countless illusions. "Cover feather!" With a loud bellow, the long spear shot out like countless feathers. "Retreat!" The Emperor Blood Tree Clan leader bellowed with mentality, charging toward the other rank, 9 Emperor Blood Tree, other than Diyu. However, it was too late. At this moment, the feather-like spear shadows shot out continuously. At this moment, the rank 9 Emperor Blood Tree's huge trunk was suddenly pierced with countless holes. The heart core in its body immediately shattered with a cracking sound. Then, the heart core also shattered with a cracking sound. Including Diyu, the Emperor Blood Tree Clan had a total of 19 experts. At this moment, only the Emperor Blood Tree Clan leader and Diyu were left. In the crowd, Qin Fengqing leisurely walked toward the fallen rank 9 Emperor Blood Tree Clan leader and Qi Huanyu, while the Emperor Blood Tree Clan leader and Qi Huanyu were fighting. He plucked a fruit and took a few bites as if he was eating a fruit. Then he sucked up the blood-like life essence on the ground and burped. Under Ji Yao's cold gaze, he smiled and said playfully, "Girl, not happy? Do you want to try? Do you want to die?" Ji Yao's face was livid. Qin Fengqing chuckled and said, "If you don't want to die, then mind your own business. I don't have time to argue with you. I'll pick up some leftovers and eat some fruits. It's not against the law, right? I'm warning you, don't glare at me. If you stare at me again, I'll kill you." After saying that, he ignored Ji Yao and looked at the cave in front of him. He sighed. "Forget it. You guys eat the meat. I'll just eat some meat." Along the way, many Emperor Blood Tree Clan members had died, and he had eaten a lot too. The others were almost all rank 9. Ji Yao, Hua Yu, and the rest who were not rank. 9 did not seem to be interested in these things. I'll reluctantly eat and drink a little. The battle at the moment was very chaotic. Those who had helped Fong Ping had now turned against him. As for the Emperor Blood Tree Clan leader who had been hostile to Fong Ping, these demons had started to help Fong Ping, and the rest protect the catacombs. Qin Fengqing sighed inwardly. Fong Ping was still good at bluffing. Moreover, every bluff was accurate. Previously, he had bluffed Ji Yao and Hua Yu to help him. Now that Qi Huanyu was greedy, he immediately bluffed these demons. But it's very dangerous. Qin Fengqing looked around. Most of the powerhouses were still alive. Up until now, most of those who had died were the weaker rank, 9. A rank 9 like Chang Shanqi was not that easy to kill. Wang Hanyue was the only one who had stopped Chang Shanqi. Otherwise, the Emperor Blood Tree Clan and the Devil Swordsman might not have been able to guard the entrance of the catacombs. Qin Fengqing burped and walked to the side of Su Bing and the rest who were watching with folded arms. Ignoring Hong Ji's contemptuous gaze, he smiled and said, "Everyone, are you just going to watch? Wait for the fishermen to reap the benefits. Are you stupid or are they stupid? Will they give you this chance?" The situation is clear now. Fong Ping and the rest are on one side, and Qi Huanyu and the rest are on the other. You can either help one side or kill all of them. Do you want to wait until both sides are injured and then reap the benefits? Are you sure you have the ability to do so? Hong Ji said coldly. Then what do you think we should do? Simple. Qin Fengqing chuckled. The bold ones will be stuffed to death, and the timid ones will starve to death. Capture Ji Yao, Hua Yu, the Jiang brothers, Wang Ruobing. Don't kill them. Threaten the others to retreat. Don't worry. Based on my understanding of them, Fong Ping will retreat. Qi Huanyu will probably retreat too. As for Zhao Xingwu, he only wants the emperor's corpse. Give it to him. Chang Shanqi and the rest are the same. Capture the young and force the old to retreat. Look at the situation now. If you don't do it and want to reap the benefits in the end, I think it's going to be difficult. Hong Ji snorted. Qin Fengqing sneered. Do it or don't. It's just a threat, not asking you to kill them. You're so timid, yet you want to be the fisherman? I think you'll be drawing water. With a sieve this time, you won't get anything, and you'll be treated with hostility by everyone. Fong Ping won't help, and the others won't help either. Are you just going to watch the show? Just wait. The ones who watch the show die the fastest. Qin Fengqing sneered. Su Bing glanced at him and said after a while, "Young friend Qin, you only want to see the world in chaos. If this gets out, I'm afraid it'll be very troublesome. Do it or don't." Qin Fengqing said impatiently, "With your overcautious characters, it'll be difficult for you to achieve anything great." Everyone looked at each other. Although Qin Fengqing's words were not very reliable at this moment, it seemed like this was their only chance to reap the greatest benefits. Su Bing glanced at Ji Yao and Hua Yu. These young people seemed to be watching the show, waiting for the outcome to be decided. They actually did not look nervous at all. If they attacked now, they might really be able to take them down and threaten the others. The next moment, Su Bing and the rest suddenly shot out, rushing toward Ji Yao and the rest. Courting death. Qi Huanyu, who was about to behead the Emperor Blood Tree Clan leader, saw this and shouted angrily, "How dare these people?" Outside the crowd, Qin Fengqing took out an Emperor Blood fruit, wiped it on his body, laughed, and continued eating. This was good stuff. If he ate some more, he would also be a rank 8. Chaos, chaos. It was not bad to fish in troubled waters. Later, when Devil Swordsman or the Emperor Blood Tree Clan leader died, he would also go pick up their corpses to take a look. These days, Picking up corpses could really make a fortune. His body moved slightly, avoiding a long sword that shot toward him. Qin Fengqing laughed and said, "It's none of my business. I'm only a rank 7. Don't look for me." This fellow was extremely daring, weaving in and out of the battlefield. If there were benefits, he would reap some. For a moment, he was laughing uncontrollably. At this moment, inside the alternate world, Fang Ping also felt that his golden body was beginning to show signs of transformation. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.